Ooh. Fashionably late as always. Are we live? Huh. Fashionably late as always. It looks like YouTube's going to change up their live stream thing a little bit. That's going to be interesting. Whoa. Man, we'll see what happens. Hey guys, what's going on? I'm here. Anybody? Let's do the live chat. What's going on, guys? Do you guys hear me or? Yeah, we're live. We're live. Okay. What's happening, guys? Are we here? Are we doing this? I should probably tweet this out. Hold on, gotta do that social media thing. Let's do it. Sorry, I got the Saw song in my head because Saw is currently playing on my TV right now. The first one. So good. James Wan. My God, that man made such a great little horror flick in the early 2000s with like very little money, and they took like, what, 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks to shoot this damn movie. Lee Wannell, whatever his name is. I don't know. So good. Anyways, what's happening, guys? Welcome to the Film Junkee Vodka stream. Look at all that vodka right there. Yeah, sorely needed. Rough week, but cheers, guys. I'm gonna drink all that, and that's how long the live stream will last. Look at that condensation. Cheers, cheersies. Any guests tonight? Hey, well, you never know. There, Mr. Jose. You never know who's gonna join the vodka stream. It's pretty cool. This is what I wanted for the vodka stream. I wanted people to want to come onto the stream because it's raw, it's unedited, and it's just like, hey, let's do this, guys. Let's fucking talk. Let's just talk live. Nothing wrong with that. So, yeah, there might be some guests. You never know. Salud, Mr. Men in Tights podcast. What's up, McG? Mr. G? I said McG. You're not that director, but Mr. G, I should say. Cheers, Manau. Don't ignore dead silence. Dead silence, underrated. Fuck yeah. No, you're absolutely right there, John. That movie, I mean, it's basically it's Wannell and Wan again creating this little horror movie that has to revolve around dolls and puppets and shit. I need to watch that again, and it has a shocking ending, of course. It has a very similar tone and just pace as the first Saw movie. So, yeah, absolutely. Apparently, me raw and unedited. Yeah. No, Eric, relax. Don't worry. Don't think like that. You're fine. You just need a better camera. That's all. So next time, yeah, just make sure you have a little bit of a better camera. That's what you need. I would love to guest sometime, Dave. Hey. Like I said, people are welcome. You got a voice? I know you have a YouTube channel, or you did. You still doing stuff, Mr. G? Death Sentence. Death Sentence was also fantastic. Nice little revenge story with Kevin Bacon. Jeez. Yeah, that's a good little revenge story. I mean, Juan is just a fucking fantastic filmmaker. That's why, like, I can't, if anybody's, hating on him because of Aquaman or anything, I can't partake in that because that guy's one of my favorite filmmakers right now, 100%. So, are the Giants losing? Yep, the Giants are winning. That's cool. There's a plus, guys. But yeah, I still make vids. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, I remember a long time ago, you had me. We were doing like our favorite movies of a certain year. That was way back when. That was a while ago. That was when I was first really starting. Crazy. Remember we did that. Did that little tie-in. What's up, Nathan? How you doing? Hoskins, I don't know if I want to invite you with all your Pornhub talk. Yearly film project. That's what it was. Yeah, that was cool. Just talk about like favorite movies of the year or whatever the hell. Pick a year. What's up with the Flash movie? I don't know. I honestly don't. I'm hearing stuff like, okay, Ezra's out, and then maybe not. I don't know. It's so fucking. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Honestly, don't. I really don't. Aquaman was awesome. Yes, it was. Aquaman was a lot of fun. Just didn't play to the strengths of one. How? That guy achieved Aquaman. God damn. The fucking scene with the trench was mesmerizing. You don't achieve that. You don't achieve that. You never see Hoskins' comments. He's always the one talking about Pornhub. He's probably waiting for Amanda to show up, just like you, Stallone. You're waiting for Amanda. Hey, what's up, Michele? How's it going? Hey, relax. I know what you're talking about there. Relax. We'll figure that one out in a bit. You did your top 10 favorite films. Wow, Hoskins, hey, there she is. Yeah, and then you got guys. Aquaman was all right. Yeah, underwater adventure. Detailed. It was all right. Just kidding. It's fine. There's Amanda, though, guys. So now you don't have to pay attention to me. You can just talk to her. Have you seen the Taskmaster set photos? Yes, YouTuber. I posted a short video yesterday about it. Keep up. Come on. Did you know Deborah Snyder cameoed in BBS? I think I did hear something about that. What was she again? I forgot. She was, wasn't she in the crowd at the gala? Or something? No. Or was she in the funeral scene, right? Funeral scene. That's what it was. Yeah, she was in the funeral scene, which was awesome. And might I add, in real life, Deborah Snyder, that is a sexy woman. Cheers to fucking Zack Snyder for keeping that and getting that. I mean, she is. First off, she's a producer, and that's what female producers don't get enough credit. I mean, we always talk about we need more female directors, but there's so many female producers out there that help get these movies out there. And Jesus Christ, and like I said, Deborah Snyder, that is a beautiful woman. So cheers to that. Even in real life. I mean, my God. And then just the fact that you can be working with your wife on a movie and still, go home or go out. I don't know. It's just crazy. I hate all the hate Snyder Cut people get on Twitter. I hate all the hate Snyder. Yeah. There's a lot of hate out there. And there's a lot of hate within the community too. It's really dumb. I don't like it either, but sadly when it comes to fandoms, the negative is always going to get the most attention as opposed to the positive. If you look at the Wall Street Journal article that came out last year, there was nothing that was talked about all the good stuff about the Snyder Cut movement. But then luckily with a lot of these new articles that have come out, they've been mentioning all the good that's coming out of this community and stuff. So that's good. Was promoted and she got bombarded with replies with, oh, you're talking about that. Yeah, but that did. Yeah, I totally understand what you're talking about, Mr. G. I was kind of like, okay, a bunch of people are just going to start tweeting. But it's just what I found funny about it is like the toxic people of the community who mainly just throw shade and say how much they hate Warner Brothers. All of a sudden they flipped it and they're like, congratulations, Ann. Oh my God. And can you do me a favor? And, but I know there's a lot of people that accuse me for, I just recently got accused for saying that when people's tweet release a Snyder Cut underneath every Warner Brothers post, like I'm talking about that has nothing to do with Justice League or DC. It could be a Godzilla trailer or whatever, and they release Snyder Cut. I always say, what are you doing? Stop doing that. It's unnecessary. But I got accused of saying that it was harassment. That was the latest thing, which is just always fun, you know. So I had that little battle, I guess you could say, because these guys consider it war. They consider all this shit war. Let's not mention that name, Stallone. I'm tired of talking about that guy. My God. I thought people overreacted to that. Yeah, I mean, it was a little bit, but hey, it got recognized in the Washington Post. And after that Ringer article came out, like I saw the analytics, there was a spike. There's a trending spike with the Snyder Cut. So that was good, you know, but yeah, I don't know. I like I said, I always just get, you know, when people don't do what they want me to do, they tend to get upset with me. So who knows? I don't really care. Saw your Twitter war with Mr. Grumpy Face. It wasn't really a Twitter war. Me and Grumpy Face don't even, I mean, we don't even really converse. I mean, we've had our little spats back and forth, which then just leads to just, I mean, I remember the last time it was like, did I offend you for saying that? I don't know. Some of these guys just automatically just go like, hey, man, you called me an asshole, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, I didn't call you an asshole. I said you're being an asshole. I don't know. And then I get the other people who are like, you know, that are running some of the campaigns and stuff like that. They want me, and I guess it's just because I have a bigger audience and a larger platform. They want me to not engage and give in and display the bad people. But then I'm going, okay, but you're also working with them. Are you telling that to them too? Because is it just because I have like a higher responsibility to not call out the bullshit, which I don't really want to. I try to avoid it. But when somebody goes, hey, weren't you one of the ones that said this? I kind of go, well, when did I say that? And I always ask, anytime that somebody makes like an accusation about something that I either said or whatever the hell, I always ask like, well, when did I say that? Do you have a screenshot? Do you have a point of when? Do you have a point of a podcast that I might have said that? Because I never remember what I said in a podcast, to be honest, or a vodka stream, especially a vodka stream. Towards the end, I don't know what the fuck's going on. So, yeah. It's all good. It's all good. Snyder should just release it himself. If he could, he would, Mr. G. But there's a lot of rights and NDAs and all this kind of shit. So, yeah. Apparently, Amanda wants to go to Texas. I haven't been to Austin. I've been to Texas. I've been to Arlington. And I've been to Dallas. My dad was stationed at Fort Hood, Texas for a bit. So I visited him one summer. And yeah, I've been to Dallas and I've been to Arlington. But that's about it. We actually, we made a weekend out of Arlington one time. We went to Six Flags over Arlington, which was actually kind of nice because it was a very small Six Flags. So we got to just, we had a great time because we barely had to wait in lines and everything. And the day before we saw a Rangers game, a lot of good shit. So and yeah, and man, she's a Cowboys fan. I just want to come to Arlington. Okay. Is that where? Okay. Oh, look at that. Michele. We got some Cowboys fans in here. Rest in peace, Lights, Camera, Jackson. What the hell? I don't even know what that is. That sounds familiar, though. But, yeah. So, what was I talking about? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Some of these guys, I don't know what they... A lot of people just want me to do certain things. And I even have, it's funny too, because I have a story about, maybe I'll mention that later. I have a story about somebody else in a Facebook page that wanted me to do the exact opposite of what people want me to do now. It's so funny. It's like people like accuse me of like, you're changing the narrative and this, that, and this, but then they want me to change. It's so, I don't even understand it, but what can you do, guys? You know? It ain't easy being me. No, it's actually very easy being me, you know. I just sometimes engage with dinguses, but what can you do? What can you do? Link shared. Okay. Uh-oh. Shit. Where's my little... Okay, there we go. Okay. Don't report negative shit, Dave. I know. I'm not supposed to do that. It's so weird. That kid reviewer, Dave, he sounds like he's 77. What kid reviewer? I don't even know what you're talking about. Now we're just doing a lot of football talk, huh? Go Eagles. I don't even really have a football team. I just like watching football. I'm a Giants fan, a San Francisco Giants fan, obviously baseball. So it's like, okay, naturally, should I just follow the 49ers? I mean, my brother is also a Giants fan, and he's a 49ers fan. But I was like, I tried, but I went, I don't know. I just don't really have a team. I play fantasy football, though. That shit's fucking, I love playing that. Hey, Dave, Bumgarner getting shipped at the, yeah, I don't know what the hell's happening with Bumgarner, dude. I'm worried, but hey, if he's not happy here, which it doesn't seem like he's happy in San Fran, I don't blame him. I don't blame it. You know, if he gets traded, then what the fuck? I don't know. It's whatever. You really don't. Lights, camera, Jackson. I mean, I'm trying to remember. It sounds familiar. Eagles. KC, Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, that kid. That kid. And I could say kid because he is younger than me. And I'm like, it's weird. But I'm like, fuck, man. That guy's got a just, I mean, he's got a rocket. Anytime, guys. But anyways, back to this. Uh-oh. And there's a chance that anybody that joins might give it a minute, see if the audio kicks in. If it doesn't, you're going to have to click in again because I ain't clicking out of this thing because that's what fucks shit up. Just saying. And I can't, you might have, I mean, it might take 2 or 3 tries. Just saying. Might have to click out and click in again. I don't know why the audio just doesn't want to work, but
can you hear me?
But if I click out of it and click in, the whole thing's gonna end. Uh oh. Who's that?
Oh wait, hold
on. Who's that?
Hold on.
Like I said, you guys might have to click in again. You might have to click in again.
No.
Because this stuff sucks.
I could see you.
See, I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
I can't hear you.
Let me do this.
Garza,
what?
Like your shit. It's weird because it shows you in here twice. That's very strange. I don't get why that happens.
Well,
I see your
I joined twice.
Your picture, and then I see you. See? And now it shows you twice. Completely click out of it and click back in. Jeez. I don't know what the hell. Hopefully, because I saw something like August 1st or something like that, YouTube's doing a different thing where they're not going to have it on Hangouts. It's just going to be called YouTube live stream or whatnot. Yeah, Garza, go ahead and click in again because I can't hear you. And I can't click out of this because if that happens, the whole thing's going to go to shit. You look very different from your fucking picture, by the way. Try it again. Probably going to be the 3rd time's the charm kind of thing. Yes, guys, Mr. Garza. Add Garza. Hashtag add Garza. Uh-oh. Try it again. Are we going to hear audio? Probably going to be the 3rd time's the charm. Uh-oh. We got Mr. Stephen Colbert here. But
hey.
I can hear him. Look at that. I can hear him. Yeah, I can hear you, dude. Garza.
See, I watch all these people try to join your stream every week, and it's always like the biggest complication.
Oh, dude.
And I'm like, I'm going to join on my first try. And
look at
so
that. Look what
I'm
happens.
glad. Yeah, so
that, man.
it's proof that you're not doing it wrong.
Exactly.
Right?
I know. I thought I was.
Vindication.
I think the thing that I was doing wrong was I was getting out of it and clicking into it. That's why our broadcast would end up ending after like 2 minutes or whatever.
Yeah. Hey, let me ask you real quick. Is my
yeah, good.
Okay, cool.
Good. Now you sound good.
I wanted to make sure it wasn't on my PC mic because that's a piece of shit. So
yeah, it is. It's fine. I'm just kidding. No, I mean,
No, I mean every
podcast, but this sounds good too. Oh, we got Garza in here, but I don't know. Can you hear his audio? You probably can. I can't, right?
I can hear you.
Can you hear him?
Me?
yeah.
You can hear him. See,
I can hear him.
see, that's what's weird. I don't understand that. Why
I'll
can't?
just translate.
Yeah,
We'll-
just tell me what he's saying.
We'll just relay everything through you.
Jesus Christ. It's so weird. Like I said, the first try, you came in, I can hear you.
Hey, can you hear me?
And now we got Garza in here twice.
Oh
yeah,
no.
because I'm joining two ways.
One Garza is more than enough.
I know. One Garza's way too much. I don't know.
But can you hear me though or no?
Because, yeah, see, you can hear him, but I can't. That's what's I don't understand why that's happening. But like I was telling everybody here, it was like when I clicked on the Hangout, when I clicked on to go live, I guess YouTube's going to stop doing it through Hangouts, and they're just going to do their own thing, like YouTube live stream or whatever. So hopefully that'll help.
Probably better. Hangouts is kind of
It's always been wonky. Garza, I still can't hear you, man. I don't know
You can-
what the hell.
Steven, you can hear me.
Him, Steven,
I can hear you.
first try, but Steven can hear you. I can't. It's so freaking dumb. I don't understand it.
Damn.
Yeah, it's so. Let me see. Let me mute you, and then unmute you. Still nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
No, of course not.
Why
No,
would you?
still can't hear you.
Still nothing.
Well, so I take back what I said about you doing something wrong.
Exactly. See,
Because-
I know.
because-
People probably thought it was me, and I'm like, no, it's not. I have no control of this,
Because I can hear Garza just
and
fine.
I think they can hear Garza
I'm gonna
too.
do-
Probably, I can't.
They probably can. Hold on. I'm gonna
It doesn't make any freaking sense.
Oh, hey, we've got our own private chat here too.
Yeah, you got a
So
live.
like, I
chat
can
right there.
talk shit about people in the comments.
Yes, exactly. Just make sure it's on
Nice.
live chat, not top chat.
Yeah.
Because I don't know why it has top chat. Why would you want to have top chat? I don't even know what top chat is.
So you gotta be in a plane.
Garza, try one more time, man. I can't. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Well, see, the thing is like I muted him to try to unmute him, and it won't even let me unmute him.
Let's no, that's going to be a problem. I was going to say let me just route my audio back through my mic, but that's going to give you a delay. So you're going to be working real time for me and on a delay.
Well,
for Garza.
the last time it took like 3 tries, and all of a sudden the audio kicked in for me. I don't know what the hell.
Can you hear me now or not?
I don't get it. I don't get why. But
He
then
said,
other
can you
times,
hear me now or not? So I take that as a no.
nope, I can't hear you still, man.
Really?
Can't. It's a nice watch though.
But
Anyways, yeah. Well, at least you made it there, Steven.
Well,
That's all that
let me
matters.
tell
Yeah.
him I try it real quick.
Yeah.
Try it again on my phone.
Okay, and then he leaves, and he's wearing pajama bottoms. He came prepared. Try one more time, Garza. One more time, please. Because I can't. I don't get it. I know you guys can hear him, but I can't hear him. It's fucking dumb.
Hey,
No.
can you still not hear me or what?
Uh-oh. Can I hear you, Garza? I can hear Steven.
So you can't hear me.
It's always such a struggle, and I hate it. And I hate it.
You really
Can you hear
can't-
Garza? You can hear Garza. And
I can hear Garza.
See?
Yeah.
Hi.
He's saying he's professing his love for you.
I know
and,
he is.
yeah.
I don't get. I even plugged in.
I really don't
voice
understand
yet.
why it doesn't work. I really
Yeah,
don't.
no, Garza. I mean, your
Tell
audio is clearly fine because I can hear you.
Why is that though? Why would that be the case?
I don't know.
It's on
Maybe
his
maybe
fucking
this is this is my stream now. Then I guess that's.
I don't know,
that means
maybe-
I can hear everyone.
You should start the stream because I have no idea why I can't hear him. It doesn't even make sense. Present to everyone. Hi, see, I don't know. I'm looking at the audio settings. Everything's fine. Everything's where it should be. Default. Output.
You should.
Try that. It's nothing. Nope. Can't hear
Nope.
anything.
Nope.
Ah, it's
Can they
ridiculous,
hear me?
man. I don't understand it. But hey, how you
That's
doing,
true.
Steven?
I'm doing great.
Good.
Garza, you just keep on leaving and rejoining until Dave hears you.
No, it's
I
so
just-
dumb.
I just.
Uh,
This is bullshit, man.
I don't understand it. I even rebooted and everything, but
Yeah.
But
I don't get it. I don't get it. Hopefully, whenever they drop Hangouts, it'll all just change. I don't know if it will, but
Ideally, I mean, unless YouTube is just worse.
It probably
Right.
will get worse. But so how you doing, man? What are you drinking?
I am drinking Lagunitas little something something.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Little IPA kind of thing. Actually,
Yeah. It's
Hey,
it's what they've got.
Steven,
What?
Hey, will you tell him I'm
See,
you tell
it's
him I'm
like,
drinking
goddamn.
whiskey?
Hold on, I'm listening to Garza. Hold on.
That's
One
what I say. Tell him I'm drinking whiskey.
This is so stupid.
He wants to know he's drinking whiskey. This is the best vodka whiskey stream.
I know,
beer
right?
stream.
Now you're
ever.
just like
Yeah.
passing messages. But
Oh,
he
hold
can
on.
hear me.
No.
That's the thing is he can hear me. I can't hear him.
Yeah.
Fucking hell! It's
Let
so,
me
and
try
then everybody
something.
else can
We're
hear
just
him.
running him on a delay because we never know what he's gonna say. So if
Yeah,
he says
you
something
never know.
worthwhile, I'll relay it. Otherwise, just let him go.
Censor Garza. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
Yeah.
That's what's going on.
Hold on,
Here.
let me try something.
Hashtag censor Garza. Because if you notice, the broadcast has not ended. It would have ended by now if I re-clicked in. So I can't do that.
Yeah.
It's so dumb. I would say try and one more time. You're not doing anything right now. Just keep clicking. I have seen what? Okay. One more time. Oh man, please let it work this time. I don't get it, but Garza has a sweet beard. No homo. Well, look at that. People are, what are you talking about? Steven has a better beard. He has a full-on beard. Garza has just some penciled in stuff. I'm just kidding.
He probably puts more effort into his though.
I think, well, yeah, because yours is just your entire face. He's like, he's got a design going.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so funny how much different he looks from his picture right there. When he came in, I was like, "Holy shit! Is that Garza?"
No, he's always covering his faces in his pictures.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Most of them, and then the times that he's been on, it's been kind of dark, and he's had the microphone like right here. So that was actually like one of the first times that I've seen like his full-on face, besides seeing him on his live stuff. But I was like, "Whoa!" It just kind of threw me off, and I was like, "Okay, yeah." I thought it was you at first. I went, "Did you shave?"
No, I freak myself out when I shave. Like every time I cut too close, it's like it's I haven't like clean shaven in years just because last time I always remind myself like, you know what, it might be nice to go clean shaven. I'm like, oh, that's right, because I have like very little like terrible jaw definition, and so I'm like, oh, I'll just create a fake jaw with a beard. And then I remove it. I'm like, oh, that's right. That's why I just have a neck up to my nose, and it's got a little mouth hole in it. So
it's always weird. Clean shaven. Even like I don't grow much, but Jesus Christ, I don't even like being clean shaven. Yeah, I still can't hear Garza. I don't know what the hell's going on, man.
I can hear him.
Yeah, see, of course you can. This is so stupid. I can't stand it. It's so dumb.
Oh, now hold up. Now on my screen down here, I've got you on the main screen, but down below I've got 3. Oh no, that's not you. That's the show, right?
Okay.
Ignore me. I'm not.
No. It's fine. I would love to figure this out because it's freaking stupid. I don't get it.
Hey, did you select to ignore him? There's an ignore option in addition to a mute option.
Like there, I can mute him.
I mean, like technically ignore him. Like in the software, not just like
let's see here. I got the control. See, I got a control room function here, and it shows that everybody's at full blast here. It's it doesn't make sense. Like I don't get it. Why?
Hey, it says you adjusted my audio level. That's
not everybody. Okay.
Yeah, no, undo that.
Okay. Yeah, nothing. Nope, still nothing. Nope. It doesn't make any sense. Okay, see.
All right.
Wait. What's that? Is that you?
Me?
Okay. Is that you making the noise?
Is it? I don't know.
I don't know. I just heard. Okay, hold on.
I'm hearing ice. I think it's Garza's ice.
Is that Garza?
No.
I can't see.
He's saying I'm a little teapot. So you'll once he cuts in, you'll know without a doubt that's what's happening. Just keep it going until it cuts in, Garza.
So freaking annoying.
You know, the good news
I don't get
is that
it.
I didn't even comb my hair today.
Why it doesn't want to work. It's frustrating. It's like, as you can tell, I'm flustered.
Yeah. Tell him not to worry about it, man.
I don't know.
He says you should worry about it.
Huh?
He says you should worry about it.
I know I should worry about it, and it sucks because I could see him, He's probably talking all kinds of.
Well, he'll just Garza, get like a dry erase board and a marker, and just do the Love Actually.
Start writing things. But the sad fact of the matter is, I'm hosting this thing, and everybody can hear him but me.
Yeah,
that's what I don't understand. I'm like, maybe it is something with me. I don't know. I don't know what it could be though.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. It doesn't make sense. You just have to keep on clicking in. So it works.
Tom, can you read that?
See, look, he's doing that. Can you read it? What is he saying?
I said,
I missed
fuck
it.
you,
Say
Dave.
Throw it up again, guys. I can still see you.
Well, yeah, I know, but I'm just trying to.
Wearing a V-neck?
So I was using.
Only Ryan Gosling can wear V-necks.
Don't worry, the comments are all talking to Amanda anyway, so
of course
we don't need to.
She's popular.
But
she's
can they
popular,
hear me?
and apparently she's drinking
just,
Mango Cart
just you?
Golden Road. She just sent me a picture of that. So sounds delicious, but anyways. Sorry, Garza. I wish I could talk to you. I mean, you could hear me. It's probably, maybe it is my Mac. I don't know. Maybe I should do this on my laptop next time and see what happens. I know everybody can hear Garza but me. That's what it is. That's what's happening, guys. Sorry.
Damn.
I apologize.
Damn, yeah.
It's not me. I don't think. Maybe it is my computer. My computer is 4 years old. I don't know. Maybe that has something to do with it.
Dude, my computer's like...
But it's a Mac.
You can't hear me.
It works fine. I mean, it's a little sluggish now. I just got to clean it out, but, I don't know.
I don't
get
know.
it.
It doesn't seem like a computer issue, but I don't know. It doesn't seem like a reasonable issue.
It should be a YouTube issue. I mean, last week when I had the comic movie marks guys.
Yeah, well, I was in the.
Like
I was watching that one. Yeah, and I could hear them the whole time too. But I couldn't hear you.
But it took like 3 times before I
don't know. Everyone just needs to do whatever I did.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what's weird. It's like the first try you showed up and it was perfectly okay.
I clicked the button and started talking.
Click the link.
I wonder. You know what?
Oh, sorry. I was talking to Garza. You can't hear him.
If I sent them an invite email, maybe.
Sure, try that.
Do that.
I could try that.
He requires more formal invites. I'm ready to. To stream with a DM.
Garza, send me your Gmail or your email, and then I'll send you an invite through that, and maybe that will work. Because I think that actually worked with somebody else. I don't know. I think with Seek, when I had Seek on, I sent them an invite through his email. So maybe that will do something. I don't know. It's so stupid though. I'm just hopefully when they change.
Hashtag release the Garza cut.
I know. Release the Garza audio. Jesus. Yeah. But well, what was I talking about before you showed up? I think I was talking about just how people want me to say certain things, and it's funny. Well, you know how things are now. But I had a funny little. This was right after Justice League came out. I actually haven't talked about this, but I was part of a DC fan page that I got invited to on Facebook. Mm-hmm. This guy just invited me. He liked my videos and blah, blah, blah. He had a pretty good following. And I said, okay. So he invited me to be an editor. And he said, yeah, post your videos, post whatever. And I thought, cool. So after Justice League came out and that monstrosity, and then I started making videos about going, what the fuck? What did we just get here? What was going on? He was the opposite of what's happening now. You know how people just want me to keep hope alive and be all happy-go-lucky and whatever. About everything with the Snyder Cut movement. He wanted me to praise Justice League because he wanted Justice League to be so successful. He's been such a DC fan forever that he didn't care what happened. And he actually was telling me, and there's like messages, like Facebook messages where we're going back and forth. And he's like, I want you to make a positive video about Justice League and everything like that. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that, man. Are you kidding me? And it was back and forth. And then we didn't talk for like a couple of months. And then he hit me up and he was like, he just went off and he was just telling me like, hey, look at the box office. It's not that bad. You know, what if the Blu-ray sales are better? And he wanted me to do videos about hyping up stuff about just Justice League in and of itself. And it was just so weird because now there's just people that want me to do kind of the opposite, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I've never been able to put my finger on exactly where it comes from, but and you've seen it just being involved in like internet media in various capacities. Do I have a where I was like, I think I have a plastic seal in there. Yeah. Where there's like a, I don't know, people seem to consider it like a form of like cred or something where we have opinions and we write about them, or we get information and we reveal it or write about it or whatever. And like that's like a thing we do, and we're not doing it because of like some like geek hierarchy or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think there's a sense,
dude. I'm getting a call from Chris. Let's see how this is gonna work.
Catch him in that way.
This is gonna work. I don't know. Is this gonna work? Allow. Oh, he couldn't join the call. What? Oh, wait a minute. How did that happen? So he
did
clicked
you just
on
intercept?
What the fuck?
Oh, did you send him an invite to this hangout or just a general Hangouts invite? Hey, maybe I can add him since I'm the only one here that knows what I'm doing. I don't know. No, I don't have the ability to add him.
You don't have the ability, right? That's no. Okay. I emailed him the link, this link, because there's like a function around here where you can send an invite via email, and I put his email in there, and I don't know what the fuck happened. Yeah, they need to fix it. I'm gonna send invite again. Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah. No, but there's this really weird thing you get where it's like like I said, I can't put my finger on exactly where it comes from. So I've always kind of associated it with like a sort of general geeky kind of like comic book. I know more than you sort of desire to, I don't know, have like points, like the Marvel No Prize of like, oh, I noticed something that even the writers didn't notice. Yeah. And so you'll find that like, you look at your comments and people are always super eager to like correct you on your information.
Can you hear me still?
No, he can't. He said something.
Yeah, I was
Jesus
speaking.
Christ. Yeah, this is not working. It's so stupid, man.
Well, I didn't get an email.
Everybody's been wanting us three to talk.
Oh, he didn't get an email. He just tried again. Try with the email.
Oh, did he send an email?
Christ.
That's what I was calling for.
I swear it's not me, man.
Oh, did you send him an email?
I did send him an email. I sent him an invite through email twice.
Send him a WhatsApp message.
A WhatsApp message?
Yeah, you got to connect with him on WhatsApp. Get his code.
Christ, I don't even have WhatsApp.
No. Connect with him. Find him on Tinder and swipe, and then shoot.
Swipe right.
Yeah. No. So anyway, so there's like I don't know. I have a number of theories for like how it occurs, but there's a desire to like be seen as like the arbiter of truth. And so when, especially once you start to get a following, people start to really be opinionated about what opinions you have, right? Like there's the internet. You can find if you want to find someone that says exactly what you believe, you can find them. Go find them. Why did Dave or me or John
you can find that echo.
Anybody have to be the one that says it? Like somebody is out there saying what you want, and if that's all you want, go find them.
Yeah.
And so like that's totally fine. And then Dave and I talked about this, I think, on our podcast we did a few weeks ago also. Mm-hmm. Kind of learned the hard way through Justice League. We were very much in the whole like, oh no, it's still Snyder's movie, kind of BS. Which I don't know why you retweeted an article from like 2017 that I wrote about that yesterday or the day before. Yeah, and someone started commenting on it. It was like, how much creative control does Zack Snyder have? And I was like, well, according to the DGA, he's still in charge. So we didn't do anything.
I think it was just one of those, like, I saw it in my mentions. I don't know why. And then I was like, oh, Stephen wrote a new article, and I just posted it.
It was totally a screen.
It was an old one, huh?
From it was from before.
I was just trying to promote your shit. I just saw it because I was like, I took a little break at my desk, and I went, I appreciate it. Stephen put it, hey, okay, and I just retweeted it. I didn't even, sorry. See, that's what happens. Yeah. Don't just retweet, guys. Actually click the link. Shows you right there.
But yeah, and so I don't know. So people somehow just kind of get this impression that they need to know more than you, and so they want to correct you on your info or dunk on you if they think that you've gotten something wrong or whatever. But then also they want to control what you say, which like it's easy to just go out and say what people want. Like if I wanted to just go out and like get all the Snyder Cut clicks, I could do that because I know exactly what everyone wants to hear. I wrote about it for a year when I was writing about how Zack Snyder was still in control of Justice League. People loved that. Every single time I wrote an article about, well, according to the DGA, Snyder is in control, or according to the WGA regulations, Whedon's rewrites weren't actually that significant, and like, all that stuff. And you know what? People praised that. Oh, you're the only journalist out there with any integrity. And
yeah, exactly.
Thankfully, someone's finally quoting the facts on this. And then the movie comes out, and like, I was wrong. I was so wrong. You know who was right? You know who was right? It was Mario Robles. It was Batman on film. It was Slash Film. It was Umberto.
Right.
Like, they were all spot on with what was going on with the reshoots, and yet they were the ones that were being called shills, or they were being Disney shills or anti-Snyder or whatever. And so and like, you know, I really appreciate like the vote of confidence from those days, but you know, obviously I was very wrong. So if you
so was I though,
and so I hope I learned my lesson. But like, if you're somebody whoever like commented or quote tweeted or whatever, any of the stuff that I wrote back then, and said that, you know, I was writing with integrity or the only one writing the facts, you know, hopefully that's something everyone can learn from, that just because it's what you want to hear does not make it the truth. That doesn't mean that the negativity is always the truth either. But you know, I've since taken a much more rigid approach to, you know, double, triple confirm stuff, and just using logic is not the way to evaluate something. So you see that happens all the time. The Hollywood Reporter will publish something and people will say, oh, it doesn't make sense, therefore it's not true. When, you know, I think we've kind of learned a little bit over the past couple of years that Hollywood doesn't make any sense. Right.
No, they don't.
And it's someone that I talked to that had worked on the movie. I said, well, you know, it would make sense if this series of events happened, and this, you know, I think this could lead to the release, and I think that'd be really cool. And they said, yeah, I can see why you'd think that, but if you were ever in a room with any of these people, you'd learn quickly that their decisions are rarely based on common sense. And so, you know, so if we're out here evaluating the movie news based on common sense, like, oh, well, you know, Ray Fisher said he's still Cyborg, so therefore he's still Cyborg. Like, the trades know a little bit about what they're saying. No, it's not. No, they get it wrong.
They do.
You know, everyone gets it wrong sometimes. Maybe there's other players involved. You know, maybe there's some contract negotiations and someone's leaking some info out there to the trades. So, but to take the automatic approach of like, the trades are wrong. Like, if you take what the trades write as like rote hard fact, and when I say the trades, I mean Hollywood Reporter, I mean Variety, I mean Deadline.
You must clarify what trades are. Some people don't.
Yeah. If you just take what they write as gospel, you'll be right 70% of the time.
Yeah.
And people like to point out that 30%. And I'm being generous, or I'm undercutting them a little. It's probably like 80-85% at least. And people like to take that 15% of the time and say, you know, oh, well, that proves that they're never trustworthy. And it's like, well, no, there's a lot of nuance involved there.
Yeah,
but
I mean, I've had my videos where I'm like, Variety said this about Ben Affleck's Batman. I'm like, they just went by a line in a different.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing you have to understand too.
Like, to me, it was like, okay, that's just like, why did they do it like that? I mean, he indicated that there was going to be a spring. Like, what does that even mean? So I know there's sometimes, you know, when it comes to those trades, it's like, maybe I don't know what happened with that, but I when I saw that, when there's like Ben Affleck indicates there's going to be a spring shoot, I went and I read the article, and it was literally just one sentence that was from a source, and I went, really, they're just going to go by that? And it just didn't make sense to me.
If it was something they were confident in, right, they would have made it a headline.
Yeah. So
just because it's in the article, you know, that doesn't mean there's no truth to it. That means maybe somebody said we'd like to shoot it in spring. But you know, if 2 or 3 people told them that, then the headline would have been Batman production to start in spring.
Yeah. But they weren't. Yeah, you're right.
Whatever it was.
They weren't fully confident, so they kind of slipped it in there.
Right.
But then a bunch of the blogs out there that aren't a trade took that line and just ran with it, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, spring!"
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and then you run into the same thing also. Where are they quoting new information, or are they just repeating information they had before? So that happened with Batman, with Ben Affleck leaving. You know, tons of times, and obviously it was right. He was gone. He was gone like the second Snyder was gone.
I remember just doing so many videos where like, oh, it's bullshit. He's gonna stay forever. He does it for his kids. But then, like, I think it was probably like towards the end of last year, or even a little before that, I was like, I think it was like, you know, you and I have talked, and then just hearing stuff from other people, and I'm going, yeah, this doesn't sound good, you know. And then even talking to my guy, and he was like, oh, Ben Affleck signed on for just this, and I'm like, okay, it makes sense now. I didn't want to believe it because I love Ben Affleck's Batman, but as soon as like I started kind of easing into it, and it was like, okay, prepare for the worst. It's gonna happen. This guy doesn't want to do it anymore. He did it for this. He went through hell. He went through a big time struggle last year, and year and a half of just like falling off the wagon, divorce, and just every movie that you're Batman. It's like it's your childhood dream to play Batman, and he gets it, and all the movies that he's a part of gets fucked with.
Yeah.
Even Suicide Squad. I mean, but obviously his scenes probably didn't get fucked with, but the whole movie ended up getting fucked with. So
can you hear him now?
I can't.
Can you hear Garza? Okay, try again, Garza.
I know he's been here and he's listening, and I'm just like, but I didn't want to interrupt like our little conversation. I still can't hear him.
Will you tell him I didn't get an email?
It's so fucking frustrating.
Oh, he didn't get an email.
He didn't get an email? What the fuck?
No.
Okay, hold on a second.
No.
Okay, I'm send invite as the film junkie. Copy paste. John.Aaron.Garza at.
Oh yeah.
I probably should
get my email out there, huh?
Everybody's gonna start emailing you, John. Sorry. Sending the invite now.
What a fucking
And Eric's trying to call me out on Joe Morton, on Silas Stone giving the monologue at the end of. It wasn't actually said in an article though. That was said in a tweet, in a follow up to an article where he had done an interview with Joe, and it was something that he specified didn't end up making it into the article.
Yeah.
It's since deleted because you'll notice that happens especially with Warner Brothers a lot, where someone will tweet, or there'll be a correction to an article, or someone will tweet something about it, and Warner Brothers is very quick to. Well, about certain things.
Yeah.
I don't want to get too much behind the curtain on sort of what they do with some of that stuff, but they you'll notice quite often that people will issue corrections for certain things with Warner Brothers, and then other things they weirdly just kind of, that's like blatantly false, they'll let hang out there. But that is something that we have heard outside of that that particular that tweet though. So what the actual detail was is that it wasn't that I thought he had a different monologue, but I looked it up and it said that actually that the monologue or the lines were taken from him and given to Lois. And so I think there was a little bit of transposition to make it make sense for her as an article. Yeah. But I think, and it makes sense if you read it over and you think of him giving that basically that same message. Yeah. And it does sound very much something like he would tell he would tell Victor.
Yeah. No, and when I was told that too, I was like, okay, it does make sense. I mean, it just kind of shows you that Vic was really the heart of the story. It was really this. Justice League was it just revolved around Cyborg. It really did. And then taking what you want with stuff that was removed. I mean, when we talked about who was like fucked with the most in this movie, I think I feel more for Fisher than anybody else, because you got Cavill. Cavill's fine.
Well, I always thought it was Cavill. I always thought it was Cavill because like 90% of his footage is with the bogus mustache.
Yeah.
And so I figured like, oh, they totally changed Cavill, which I think they did to an extent. But I'm wondering, I feel like maybe more of that. I think that maybe he suffered from being cut more than being changed. Mm-hmm. And then I'm wondering if what they reinserted was less of a change to his story arc so much as like a change to his, like they had him smile more, for example. Whereas I published an article recently where I took all the news that we had about Ray Fisher and put it and kind of lined it up just to kind of see how it all went together. And it's crazy. Like you talk about, people make a big deal about, oh, well, they didn't have an origin story and we needed a solo film with each of the characters beforehand or whatever. And like the way they brought in Batman in BVS was kind of cool because they're like, look, everybody knows Batman's story, right? We don't need to tell Batman's story again. So we'll just kind of show you this opening scene and what happens after that. In the dream, they took me to the light, a beautiful lie. Well, okay, we know that story, right? For 20 years, he's Batman. He does all the Batman things. We've seen that in, lots of movies. Yeah. And so then they pick up, 20 years after that and then give us the rest of the story, right? And then, but Cyborg, there's not that, he's not in the zeitgeist in that way.
No.
And
nobody
so
knows the story.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what's crazy about looking at like the original plan for Justice League was his he had a full-blown origin story in there.
Full on.
They showed his actual origin again, even though they showed it in BVS on like the cam shot. They gave it actually. I think it was very similar to the Dr. Manhattan scene. I love playing that music over some of the kind of cut footage that we have from that, and it goes together very, very well.
Sure, it does. Yeah.
So we had like an actual like creation. Well, we had the before he became Cyborg with Victor Stone, being a football champion and knowing he's with his mom and they get in the car accident, and then there's a scene of him becoming Cyborg. Then there's scenes of him learning to understand his powers, and then sort of butting heads and conflicting with his dad, and then learning to embrace his powers and become a hero. And then his dad dies, and he has to overcome that. And like you line it up with all like the stages of like a Campbellian arc, and it's there. And Superman didn't get that in this movie. Batman didn't get that in this movie. Even like Flash and Aquaman, who are kind of introduced here, are more side characters. Like when Snyder said Cyborg is the heart of this movie, he literally means like the story is about Cyborg, and all these other characters
really
revolve around him. Because you get to the end, and what happens? He's the only person that is capable of stopping the Unity.
Exactly. And then obviously what we saw recently from Snyder, the images, is that when he's within the mother boxes trying to defeat the Unity, they're trying to coax him to be like, hey, both your parents are dead, but if you're with us, we can bring them back. It was like, I can't even imagine that. I mean, that scene, that's why I feel for Fisher. And I even said that because it's like, he's a new actor. I mean, if you look at his IMDb, it's not long. He's a fresh face. He was going to show a lot of his chops in this movie, and they all got fucking cut. Most of it got cut. And that's why I feel for him the most, because I think it's going to hurt him the most, because Cavill, he's fine. He got Sherlock Holmes recently. Affleck's fine, and most of them they're pretty much all good. But Fisher?
Well, and that's what Jason LeBoy, the photographer, you guys, I know a lot of people know who he is. And I know he said this publicly in my mentions on Vero when I posted this article about Cyborg, so it is out there. And he has like done Comic-Con photo shoots with Ray Fisher. Like he knows these people, he's met them in person, like numerous times. And what he said on my Vero when I posted that article was that Jeff Johns was the one that wanted to cut Cyborg's story from Justice League, because he wanted to be the one that told the story in his own solo movie.
Yeah.
And I think that's all he said. So I'll stop talking about that there. But but yeah, so it's just another place where like, and it's literally it's not just like the heart of the movie, like, oh, he's the character that we all kind of get behind, but it's like literally it's the core plot. It's like if you were to make Batman a side character in Justice League in favor of, and then just kind of take the existing Superman story and kind of shape it into more of a narrative. Yet you're lacking the whole fallen Batman and Martha, and like, no, just take that all out and just and like look at how much that would simplify things if Batman isn't fallen and then rise and have the Martha moment, and you just turn it into like they have a fight, and then it's literally what people would accuse it of being, where they decide they're best friends now and fight Doomsday, and that's really what they ended up doing to Justice League, and why there's no real like plot is because Cyborg was the plot.
What I know, and I haven't watched the theatrical release. I watched it one more. Yeah, I think I've only seen it maybe 3 times. But yeah, when you watch it, it's just like a run by the mill. Like, hey, we got a scene with this person and that person. There's a big baddie that shows up, and
another thing I noticed earlier today is imagine watching Justice League without knowing any like behind the scenes information or any comics lore. True. And try to figure out what's going on with Steppenwolf.
You really can't.
Like you don't know what boom tubes are. You don't know where he's from. You don't know what parademons are. Like, this dude is just showing up in different places for no reason. Yeah. And then at the end, like, where do the parademons take him at the end? Like, there's absolutely no lore.
At the end of the history lesson, it's like, what the fuck? And then at the like you said, at the end of the final battle, it's like they smell fear. Okay, why? And then they just take him away, and that's it, huh? Cool.
Yeah. What next? The smell of fear thing also. That was one of the. You watch that opening scene with remember after the movie came out, everyone was saying that opening scene was I was just complaining about this earlier today. I hate doing the whole. Is it a Whedon shot or a Snyder shot?
Yeah.
But that everyone was like, "Oh, that opening Batman scene was definitely Snyder because Batman."
I thought it was too.
Cool backflip or something.
Yeah.
And I remember I knew right away that it was Whedon because if you watch like functionally, what does that scene accomplish? Well, it establishes that parademons smell fear. It establishes that parademons are attracted to that high-pitched whining siren noise, and it introduces the parademon explodes, and there's the 3 mother boxes on the wall for no reason, and those are like the 3 like MacGuffins basically of the rest of the film, right? Batman tries to track down the mother boxes, magically growing a beard overnight, by the way. Ben Affleck grows a fantastic beard in a very short time.
It's a very
not that fast. And then he's tracking down the mother boxes. And then he uses the siren in the final battle to attract the parademons to him, and then the parademons smell Steppenwolf's fear and drag him away. So that one scene, just imagine how much we're talking about, like 2.5 hours of footage missing, right?
Yeah.
Look at what that one single scene can cut out. It cuts out Batman's entire arc investigating.
Yeah.
It cuts out Batman's entire strategy in the 3rd act, right? Because what's his strategy in the 3rd act? Oh, they'll follow my siren. Well, okay, so before you introduce that as a plot point, what is he doing? I don't know. He was on the gun at one point. That's like all we know, right? And then how do they defeat Steppenwolf? Well, they defeat him because they make him feel fear. And so that's another point that's missing, and that's all established in that opening scene. And it's
you're right. I think people thought it was a Snyder shot because there are some good shots. I mean, like when he's like perched on that gargoyle. That looks cool. And I think just like it just had that very much like kind of, but I mean, if you rewatch it again, you kind of go like, well, this is not that great. That's not that great. When I saw the scene again,
I think the scene of him watching out the window is very animated series gargoyle. Like I think it is a cool shot. Like I'm not a fan of what Whedon did like at all, but I think that I'm willing to admit that like some of his shots in there are kind of cool. The backflip is cool. The swinging around the water tower is cool. It's not Snyder. It doesn't fit Snyder's aesthetic at all. But like if Whedon directed a Justice League movie, floor to ceiling, I bet,
Oh, it'd be better than that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like, and
if he had written the script, and I wouldn't like it as much as the Snyder movie, by far. It is the Whedon's got so many other issues. But I think there'd be more cool stuff like that in there. Eric is asking about about Garza's fan edit, and yes, I did see that. I actually,
so did I. It was really good. I thought it was
he's not on the stream, so he can't hear me say it. I'm not going to steal credit for it because he did all the hard work.
Yeah, he did.
Using Amy Adams from Arrival to kind of reframe that was definitely my idea, though. Oh, hey, he's back.
He is back, but I still can't hear him, of course.
How did he know? I didn't even say anything.
No,
he too, because when I send him the email, all of a sudden I get a video call on my phone, and like. This thing, I really hope that once they stop utilizing Hangouts, all this shit will work fine. Because I still can't hear you, dude. I still can't hear Gar. Yeah, I know. Just go ahead, just flip it all off, man. I would love to have you in this discussion. I really would. But if I click back into it, it's just gonna end the broadcast after a minute or two.
I know.
I don't get it because you came on here fine. You were just like, bam, 100%, just like it just right off the bat.
I know how to click buttons. That's what I'm saying.
It's Garza's fault, guys. It's not mine.
You're right, because
he's not clicking the right button.
Have you tried calling in from your phone, Garza?
Yeah, I'm on my phone right now.
Oh, well, have you tried from your computer?
Yeah, I just tried on my computer.
Jesus Christ. Oh,
go around again.
Yeah, tell him that it's.
I know it sucks. We're actually praising you right now too, man.
And I don't want to call.
And I know Steven can hear you, and everybody else can hear you, but not me.
I don't want to call him out, but it sounds like it's a user.
And then utilize
it. He says he doesn't want to call you out, but it sounds like you're an asshole.
Yeah, I am an asshole. You join the club. Join all the people that hate you too.
Yeah, that's what they call an ID 10T or a PEBCAC.
Why is he gonna call me that shit, man? Why is he gonna bring that shit up?
Oh, this is so frustrating.
Tell him it's all right. I'm tired from making my.
Why can't technology just work right?
He said it's okay. He's tired from making his video, so it sounds like he's trying to cap out.
I'm sure it's a lot of hard work. You know, your index finger must be really tired.
Yeah, it is. Did you see how many fucking edits I sent?
Just kidding, man. I get it.
Yeah.
I edit the
No,
I
gave him
20 times.
he had me check it out a couple times, and I gave him like every time he showed it to me, I was like, "Oh, that's cool. Can you make that pause a little bit longer?" And he's like, "Fine."
Well, I know, like, yeah, that's cool.
Sorry.
Yeah, you know what? You got to get advice from people sometimes. You're just like, hey, man, watch this. How does this look? How is this? You know, it's always nice to get a second voice when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
how's that rye whiskey, man? Is it good? I'm sure it's delicious.
Good.
God.
He said something, but you guys are talking at the same time, so I can't pass it along.
Hey, ask him if he likes my hair.
He wants to know if you like his hair.
No, I don't. I hate it. I do. Just kidding. It's fine. But like I said, like you're like the way that your picture looks, like when your picture flashes up, and then it's like, wait, that's the same guy. It's like it's two different people almost, man.
I'm telling you, man, it's like that in real life too.
I'm sure he's saying something else. I can't even hear it. It's so stupid.
Hey, couldn't you turn on YouTube? You just hear the delay.
I wonder.
Yeah.
Fuck it. But anyways,
you're like,
I just wanted to come on
wait a minute.
and say
I
love you.
I got something new here.
Wait, hold on.
And I feel good.
Control. Wait.
Okay.
Screen
Like,
share.
No, Garza, keep going.
Delete.
Dave, shut up.
Okay.
Hey, yeah. Control Alt Delete maybe might work.
No,
what I was gonna say is my hair. So like it's down. It's all the way down.
Yeah.
Like if you can't see.
Yeah, we were really curious about your hair. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, it's just it flows in the wind.
This is great.
We should
I'm
set
the
up
only
a
one that
fan.
can't hear anything.
Set up a fan and just get like a Jason Momoa
Fabio
commercial going on, and
like a Fabio thing.
Yeah.
It's me and him said
God,
Fabio.
so
We can't even hear me.
I've been wanting to just have both of you on here and stuff, but I
no homo.
Remember I have to do it in August when they freaking hopefully fix this bullshit.
Yeah.
Anyways, I wanted to just say I love you, Dave. I love you, Steven. I will be back tomorrow to cause more havoc online.
More apps.
Sounds good. And I think you're all right. Dave probably loves you.
Nah.
Have a good night.
All right, man. I know.
You
Yeah,
just stay there and keep waving the whole time.
Okay, next time, I guess. Well, we'll see. Hopefully,
if it doesn't work next time, I'll drop and let him. I think that's how this will work. Is we just take
like a twofer. I can't have a threesome, guys.
Yeah.
Sadly.
I don't know what to tell you, man.
It's so dumb. Well, thanks for coming on, guys.
Here's the other thing you could do, Dave. Get Garza. No, I got a solution. I got a real solution here.
Oh, he's got a solution.
All right, Garza, you make a phone call to Dave. Dave put in an earbud.
Oh yeah, that's right. I could.
And
right?
Garza, you dial in from your computer for the video. And then you guys,
that actually could work.
And everybody else can hear Garza fine, right? And so the issue is that you two can't hear each other.
That actually would work because I could totally just put that in and have
exactly. Just have one earbud in, and you've got Garza's audio right there, and you got my audio. Yeah.
Yeah. See.
Man.
So
talk about getting around and shit.
Does he want to do that, or is he going to bed? I know it's like midnight over there. So
yeah. How do you feel, Garza? Do you want to try a workaround, or are you God, dude.
Yeah, maybe we could. You know what? I think we could.
It's up to you, man. If you want to join,
work it around later.
Okay.
Tomorrow.
We could do it like that.
No, okay. I think he's done, Dave. He said we'll try something different tomorrow.
Okay, we'll try something different.
But I just wanted
to
Garza, come in and
but I appreciate trying to come in.
Like
sorry, guys. Sorry that I can't hear him, but everybody else can.
Yeah. Well, let's give him a second to give everyone a sign off. Everyone, if you haven't seen Garza's new Justice League opening edit, go check it out. It's one of the coolest. Really one of the coolest things I think. The music I think is what really impressed me the most. Right? But there's also some other.
Myself.
There's some other really cool stuff he did with the audio in it that I haven't seen in other edits yet. So I think it's got a really cool thing going on there. So go check it out if you haven't. It's on his Twitter page.
Yeah. Just hit him up on Twitter and check it out.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
All right.
Have a good night.
Thank you, Garza. Peace. Love you, even though I can't hear you.
Fuck off, Dave.
My God. God, it's so frustrating. I don't understand. I really don't understand why that's the case. I really don't.
Blame YouTube. They're censoring him. He's
that's what it is. They hate
said
him.
something they didn't like, and
they hate him.
You know, they didn't like his AT&T article, and so they're censoring him. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that article that I was supposed to know. The article.
Yeah.
Oh, I was supposed to know the article earlier today, apparently, or yesterday, whatever the fuck. I don't know. We don't need to talk about that, but
yeah,
I don't know. It's just I don't know. What are you seeing? Because you're the analytics guy. So what are you seeing after the Ringer article, after the Washington Post article? What are you seeing?
Well, so up until I guess if you've been watching at all how the Snyder Cut like performs on analytics for Google or for like for search value, or I don't do as much on like social media because like Twitter analytics are like way too valuable for me to pay for. But of like the analytics tools that are available, I've been kind of watching how Snyder Cut performs over time, and the previous peak in traffic or in like interest for the Google term Snyder Cut was when the when the Wall Street Journal article came out over Comic-Con back in July 2018, right?
Last year, yeah.
And so there was like a peak there, and it makes sense, right? Because it's one of the biggest publications in the world published an article about the Snyder Cut.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of attention, a lot of people searching it. The excitement around Comic-Con, et cetera, had an impact also. But like, look at Twitter and look at how much any Snyder Cut tweet gets retweeted, or what are the biggest. I think the biggest account that really regularly supports the Snyder Cut is like the DCU movie page, right? It's got like 10,000, 12,000 followers, something like that.
Yeah, I like that guy. Yeah.
So
he retweets a lot of stuff.
So that's so hypothetically, if a retweet from an account with 12,000 followers does not mean 12,000.
Of course,
there's leakage all over the place on that.
Yeah.
But let's, like, for the sake of being clean with the numbers, let's say that was. So that would mean we get exposure from that of 12,000 people. And then maybe if someone like, Sonny Bunch has a bunch of followers and he'll tweet about it, or Ben Shapiro tweeted about it once. And he got like 2 million. Well, no. And he's got, like 2 million followers.
Ben Shapiro retweeted something the other day about the Snyder Cut too.
Yeah. And so that's all great. And like,
Bunch. Yeah.
It might be. Yeah. And that gets it like out in front of like quite a few eyeballs, but putting it in a publication like the Wall Street Journal is so much bigger, because that's not just, people like to focus so much on Twitter because Twitter is like the place where like conversations happen, but it's such a small percentage of the population, right? Yeah. So like I can guarantee you that, like, I don't even need to look at the analytics to know that probably 10 times, easily 10 times as many people saw that Wall Street Journal article on Facebook than Twitter. Like, hands down, probably more. But just knowing how like the sort of social analytics break down, Twitter has an extremely low click-through rate. So they publish something like that, whoever follows them might see the headline or whatever. Facebook, I never looked up if they posted it to Facebook. I could probably find that out.
I'm sure
I should go back and try to find that, because that'll be interesting to know. But I can guarantee you, without even looking, just based on the difference in platforms, that the article got way more exposure on Facebook. Anyway, the point is that was the previous peak in search interest for the Snyder Cut. It makes sense because it was exposed to so many people, and there's a lot of people Googling it. In addition to, like I said, the fandom is a component of that, but we're talking, tens of thousands of people as opposed to millions of people, right? That's a single-digit percentage of the total interest that we're talking about generated from that. And then it dropped off significantly after that. Part of it was just because there was a lull in coverage. There wasn't as much being revealed.
True.
Fandom, I think there was a little bit of a depression also. So the conversation wasn't quite as active. But the numbers that I'm looking at aren't really as closely tied to, how much it's being tweeted about, so much as how much it's in the larger conversation. But towards as Aquaman came out, it started to ramp up again, and it reached its.
Well, yeah, especially after Momoa said what he said.
Exactly, I was going to say that was the next highest peak. It was probably about half. If the highest peak before was the Wall Street Journal, and that's 100, the Momoa thing was the next highest peak, and that was at about like a 50. So if that tells you kind of how low it had gone and how high it came back up, but that was like the second highest peak in the data there. Which makes sense because Aquaman is $1 billion movie, right? Lots of people paying attention to that coverage. Lots of people in love with Jason Momoa, and he said it in an MTV interview, right? So so that's coverage all over the place. That might have even been I don't know if that was on TV or not, but the point is, lots of people saw that.
Was it on? Was it Yahoo?
No, well, he said it in an interview with Josh Horowitz. Is he the guy from MTV?
Oh, it was MTV. Yeah, you're right. MTV. Yeah. That's what it was.
And so I was on their Twitter account. Once again, I didn't look at the analytics for other platforms, but that was the next highest in terms of like Google search value for the term was right around the beginning of January, end of December. And then it stayed a lot higher. Like interest maintained after that pretty significantly, even though there wasn't quite as much going on. It didn't dip nearly down as much as it did after Comic-Con and the Wall Street Journal article. And then the next peak, it slowly ramped up to reach it got even higher to like a 70 compared to the Wall Street Journal.
Oh.
So Momoa was a 50, then the Snyder Con would have been like a 70 compared to Wall Street Journal. And then there was not much after that, but we had the video out and there was so much more sort of news. And he started dropping some more bigger things. And so as a result, it was kind of constantly a part of the conversation, right? The Ray Porter news came out. And then we started slotting that into to other stuff. And so there's other pieces of the conversation happening around that, right? And so there's just general, there's headlines coming out about the Snyder Cut, which therefore means people are searching like, wait, is this done? How complete is it? Could it come out? What are the differences? Just like imagine you're entirely removed from this situation and you read something about the Snyder Cut and what are the things that you're going to Google. Imagine being exposed to something for the first time and you get an interest, you're going to go start searching those things, right? And so then the same thing happened again after the Ringer article. And so if you look at the analytics, it's really interesting because you have the Ringer article happens, and then immediately after that, there's a spike, and it starts going up, and we are currently still on that spike. And along that spike, you have Business Insider, you have Yahoo, you have there's an Entertainment Insider or another fairly big one that covered it, and then Washington Post is like at the peak, and we have officially now, as of that Washington Post article, peaked past where Wall Street Journal was. So the new 100 on this scale
is the Washington Post.
Is Washington Post, and the Wall Street Journal is at like 98 or like 95. So it's close,
barely, like a little bit more.
Exactly. So we passed it up.
Okay.
And
they got 13.8 million. That's pretty good.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and that's on Twitter, and so once again, that doesn't necessarily translate into reach or even into clicks, but like proportionally speaking, it'll give you an idea of like the scale that we're talking about, right? The Ringer has like 500,000 followers. What was important about the Ringer article, though, and why I think it's at the bottom of that sort of spike, is the way that it humanized the movement effectively for the first time for a mainstream audience, right?
Yeah.
For anyone that's not familiar with the Ringer, it was founded by I'm forgetting his name now, but he's the guy that does the ESPN 30 for 30. So it's like primarily like a sports.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Like a sports publication, but they do a lot more media stuff. And so you're going to look at like the demographics. You look at somewhere like Screen Rant, where I write, or comicbook.com, or Heroic Hollywood, or Slash Film, or like any of those like geek blogs, or like movie news sites. The demographics tend to trend a lot younger and a lot more male. Whereas what you're going to see with something like The Ringer is you're going to see like, maybe like 18 to 24-year-olds are going to read a lot of stuff from like from Screen Rant or whatever. I don't know exactly what our demographics were, and if I was, I wouldn't say them specifically, but that's something like you would see from that, right?
Yeah.
Whereas like The Ringer, you're going to see a lot more like 35, 40-year-old males, right?
Exactly. It's going to be a little more diverse.
It's exactly. It's a little older. It's a little more mature. It's a little more serious, and it's a demographic that is not has not been as exposed to the Snyder Cut before, right? And so they come out with an article where he says, I don't like Snyder's articles, but these people are passionate and I respect what they're doing. And I think it's an extremely long shot, but it's inspiring that they're going for it. And I hope they don't stop.
Yeah. And they also gave some good quotes. They gave some long quotes. It wasn't
exactly.
Like,
they made Will Rowland look great. They made Zod Raider look really good. They made Chris Wong look really good. And I don't remember who all.
Shiraz.
Shiraz. Yeah, Shiraz. Shiraz had some good quotes in there also. I know he riled some people up over talking about the
10 years, 20 years.
10 years, which is funny. He says that's not exactly the context that he gave that in when I asked him about it. But his point was that we need to be settled in for the long haul, which I know you guys talked about on the Zod Rider show also. That doesn't mean he doesn't think it's possible anytime soon. Exactly. He's just saying, these things happen, and this is more complete than the Donner Cut. Anyway, that's a rabbit trail. But the point is, so the Ringer article comes out, and it's not from a geek blog, and so it's taken a lot more seriously. And what it says is, look, you don't have to like Snyder, you don't even have to like his fans, but what they're doing is inspiring and it's to be respected.
Well, look what Eric's saying right now. Apparently, they're reaching out to THR and they're like fascinated about the Snyder Cut issue. Expect an article soon, so that's pretty good.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
Yeah,
and so that'll
definitely help, Eric.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's a few people talked to me about the Ringer article, and that's sort of what I said was that this is an audience that hasn't really been reached yet. It's a publication that's going to take things a little bit more seriously. It's not a blog, and so he's not coming into this with this baggage. Rob Harvila, he's not coming into this with the baggage of having had Twitter fights with Snyder fans, right? He's not coming into this from having to cover Snyder news in general. I mean, he wrote movie reviews, but like he's for all intents and purposes, outside of the fact that he did a negative review for Batman v Superman, he's not really involved in this, right? And so he comes in with a sort of fresh perspective for a more mature publication, and so the reason that I think that's influential and kind of being the beginning of this upward spike that we've been seeing now, is that these tweets have been happening forever, right? Every single Warner Brothers tweet, the comments are just full of Snyder, and we talked about that on our podcast also.
Harassment.
I've got like a love-hate relationship with a lot of those, where like sometimes it's relevant and it's cool, sometimes it seems less relevant.
When it's underneath kind of like a little bit cringe. Yeah.
But like the fact that they do that, and I think what I said last time I was on your podcast was like, you kind of respect the fact that they're so persistent and capable of doing that.
Yeah.
But there's also an element of like, okay, maybe don't bomb the Godzilla one. Maybe just do the ones that are related.
They're posting like a small movie that's coming out. It's
right. Well, there's a law of diminishing returns, right? Eventually, it's just, there's the Snyder guys trashing a Warner Brothers tweet again. And so just to make it kind of a rule that happens to every single one, I don't think it's great, but whatever. That's beside the point.
Yeah.
The point is that they're out there to be seen, right? And that was something that was specifically mentioned in the Ringer article was, and I think Chris Wong said he said something very similar to what I said, that he doesn't think that it needs to happen on every single tweet, but he participates when it's on like something where they posted about artistic integrity or something,
or something like that, or talk about directors,
which makes a lot of sense. If Warner Brothers is going to say we value director creativity, then yes, you should say, really? Then why did this happen?
Have the time of your life.
And so that was mentioned in the Ringer article. But so after that, what happens? Well, then Ann Sarnoff comes in, and of course that tweet gets bombarded. And so people see that now they're looking at the Snyder Cut in a new light, right? It's no longer this group of angry fanboys that just mob every single tweet. It's these people who have a quixotic story, right? It's they're reaching for the stars, but they're fervent and they believe in what they're doing, and they're going to continue attacking it. And that's how it's seen now, as opposed to the kind of collective eye roll that used to happen before that. And so then Business Insider decides to pick it up and cover it, and Yahoo covers when Jay Oliva tweets about it. I will say that I covered Jay Oliva's tweets first, and then Yahoo covered it after us. So I'm going to say that maybe I pushed that over the edge, but they didn't credit us because it was a public tweet. But maybe I had something to do with that. But yeah, I got to take it where I can get it, right?
Yeah,
no one's handed it out to me on Twitter.
Exactly. So why not?
So anyway, long story short, I'm going to ramble on about like analytics forever and ever and ever.
Oh, hey.
But the point is that you see that we are on this spike that has now reached critical mass, right, for what we've seen from the Snyder Cut. And that spike starts, in the data that I've looked at, it starts at the Ringer article. And it's because it changed the conversation to take this movement seriously. And what happens? The Business Insider takes it seriously. Yahoo takes it seriously. Washington Post takes it seriously. Who's going to take it seriously next? The THR, are they going to write something about it? They covered that. They covered the James Gunn thing, right?
Yeah.
The billboard, like way back when. So are they going to cover this? Now the trades are funny because while they are like the official source of news, part of that is because of all their PR connections, right? So I don't doubt for a second that the reason this has never gotten coverage from THR is because THR, who reports all this news. They reported Snyder stepping down. They report.
They had the exclusive, huh?
Yeah, exactly. And that's not, Boris Kitt wrote that. Boris Kitt didn't scoop that. Somebody from Warner Brothers came to him and said, "We have a story for you."
The Snyders, yeah.
And so so why is like the Hollywood Reporter not covered it? Well, because Warner Brothers doesn't want them to cover it. And so maybe that's changing, or maybe it's reached enough of a critical mass where they're going to say, look, we can't deny that this isn't a story. Washington Post covered it, right? The seal is kind of off for that. So that's kind of where we are now. We're in a post don't take the Snyder Cut movement seriously world. We're in a post like eye roll at everything they do world. And that's really, really exciting. It's also scary because, there's a spotlight on us now. And I think that there's a level of accountability that is concerning, right? You look at some of these articles and there are certain corners of the fandom that, like the Wall Street Journal article, I've always said was trash, was not a fan of the way it was written. I don't think there was a lot of effort put into it. But there was also a kind of a weird, like, if they really wanted to kill the movement, why didn't they just kind of scrub up some tweets from
it could have been worse.
And the fact that there has yet to be like a, look at these are the worst tweets from the Snyder Cut movement. Like
they could have done that. It could have been a whole slam article, but
yeah, exactly. Like you can really make some, if you really wanted to dig for some bad stuff, you could find it. And they haven't, and that's kind of merciful. And so my only hope is that, I think collectively the fandom handled the Ann Sarnoff stuff really well. It was very positive. There was a lot of positive energy, a lot of respect being shown. Even when people engaged in that thread, and said like it doesn't exist, they didn't get like the, I've got receipts and I'm gonna drag you and we're gonna quote tweet you and just bury you in people saying that you're an idiot. Like that didn't really happen, which is perfect because when Washington Post then says, look at how they reacted to this, they're not pointing to a bunch of like cringe-tastic tweets. They're actually pointing to probably one of the more shining moments of like fandom getting its act together and not acting in a way that makes me uncomfortable, right? And so if we can continue that trend up through Comic-Con, I mean, that's the crazy thing, right? We're at this point and Comic-Con hasn't even happened yet.
It hasn't. I can't even imagine what's going to happen.
Yeah. So anyway, sorry, I've been
no. This is all
on a rant
information. This is all information that needs to be said, and I'm glad you're saying it. And
yeah,
God, I had a thought and I just lost it. But we go through the struggles, we go through everything, and I even talked about somebody. I think was it today or was it yesterday? I can't remember. But somebody came in my mentions. I actually think it was today, I don't know. But they were like, "Oh, you're talking about what Ringer article are you talking about?" And I went, "The one that had the quotes from various people from the." And they just looked at it as, "Oh, you mean the one that slammed Snyder's work, blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, okay, you're just looking at that one part where the writer said he did not like Snyder's work, but you got to look at the rest of it. And then I even said, like, you shared analytics, and I've been like, hey, I've looked at analytics. There was a spike that happened right after that article. Yeah. Was it fully positive? Was it like a full-on Snyder praise? No, but it didn't. It still shined the light, and it shined the light in a good way.
And I don't know exactly what it is, but there seems to be a lack of sort of perspective, I think, sometimes from the movement on sort of the self-awareness or like the way some of this stuff looks from the outside.
Yeah.
And like, do I want people to like Snyder's movies, or do I want them to not like shit on them? Sure. Like I would very much prefer to not see an article come out where someone treats it like that.
Yeah.
Like, having said that, what Rob Harvilla accomplished with that article, like if that everyone in like the Snyder Cut fandom would have loved that article if he came out and he said Snyder is the greatest filmmaker of all time and you're too stupid to understand him and the Snyder Cut is real and if you think otherwise, you're a moron and whatever. And he would have been like, oh, you're the new hero of the Snyder Cut movement, right?
Yeah.
They're the only people that would have thought that.
Of course.
Everyone else reading it would have been like, what is this guy talking about? This is like he went crazy. And not everybody, but like a lot more people would have. And that's not what he did. He was very honest. He came out and he said, look, I don't like Snyder's movies. How much do I dislike them? He was very explicit about how much he disliked them. Which is
good. Be honest.
Yeah, exactly. And having I don't think that he was a little bit aggressive in his terminology, but like he never disparaged Snyder himself. He never said like Snyder is a misogynist who just likes to utilize the male gaze.
Rape.
Yeah, exactly. He didn't do any of that. He just said like I find them overly dour and whatever all the words you've heard a million times are. And then in spite of that, he went on to say that he was very impressed from interacting with the people in the movement. He went on to say that that he thought that they should continue doing what they're doing. He said that other people should respect them and not discount them or look down on them because of how they're behaving. All things that now suddenly from someone who, if you're reading the article and you're someone who disliked the Snyder Cut, well, maybe this guy has a point. Maybe I don't need to tell these people it doesn't exist every time they tweet about it. Maybe I can just let them do, what we always say when someone is like, get over it. It's like, why don't you get over it? Like, if you don't care about this movie, that's fine. Yeah. Like, let us like care about it. Yeah. And that's really what Rob said. But, he said it for a much bigger publication with a much more serious audience. Mm-hmm. And not that that didn't kill the voices out there saying, get over it. It doesn't exist, whatever. But I do think it sent a very clear message of like, look, are you going to be the asshole that doesn't want this movie to exist just because you aren't a fan? Or are you going to say like, you know what? I don't like the movie, but like, I'm glad that you find purpose in this and are going to continue pursuing it. Yeah. And like I said, from an outsider's perspective, that has infinite more credibility. Exactly. I've written dozens of articles defending Snyder and defending the existence of the Snyder Cut. And I know that it's made a difference for some people, because I know some people have changed their minds, or some people use it to have sent it to people. I know people tell me all the time, like, oh, I love sending your the Snyder Cut is more complete than you think article to people. And that's really encouraging to hear. But because people know that I'm a Snyder fan, or because they know that I write about this a lot, I don't have that same kind of impact. If I say the Snyder Cut is real, you should respect the movement, that doesn't mean the same coming from me as it does from someone like Rob, who wrote a scathing review of Batman v Superman.
Exactly.
And I think that's something that people really need to appreciate is that's got way more clout.
When you have an outside voice that is going, okay, I'm going to dive into this thing, and they probably had this like perception of it, maybe like dealing with it on Twitter, dealing with some of the guys on Twitter, and like, oh my god, what the hell's going on here? And they click that release the Snyder Cut hashtag, and they look and they see some good, and then they see some bad, and they see just like some madness, and then just to reach out and actually like interview some people. And I know, we were kind of worried, like, hey, okay, they're reaching out to this. I even talked to Chris. I'm like, hey, just same thing with like the Wall Street Journal one. I'm like, yeah, just dot your I's, cross your T's, just make sure this time around, let's, and he immediately went, okay, I'm not, he came back with me with saying like, hey, I know I'm totally with it this time. It wasn't like the Wall Street Journal time where it was just, because he got interviewed for that one. And I remember even hitting him up. I'm like, hey, just be careful. And then it just, they omitted some of his quotes. I even talked to, Zod Ryder too, because, I've talked to him in the DMs. I'm like, just say everything you need to say, make sure, and then he even said, they used all my quotes. They didn't cut anything out.
Yeah. So I got in trouble for this last time I said it in the comments on your show, but I I know you know this. I've been told, no, I've been told by two different people, two different media sources, leading up to the Wall Street Journal, that it was going to be negative ahead of time. So, and those were two people who don't know each other, who didn't get. I verified they didn't get the information from the same place. Knew ahead of time, oh, hey, this isn't what they said. One person said it's not going to be what they think, and the other person said, I hear that he's writing an article to end the Snyder Cut, basically. Which it didn't work,
Of course not.
They tried to get rid of me. Not me. I am not trying. I chose the wrong one. I'm going to get in trouble for that.
Oh God, someone's going to make a short video of that, and you're fucked now.
Yeah, right.
Congratulations.
But they but yeah, and I passed that information along, and the people that I told ended up doing it anyway, and that's great. Like I respect their decision. I think they made the right decision. As I said at the time, despite the negativity, what the Wall Street Journal article said, despite being full of lies and half truths and omitting truths and etc., the one thing that it did communicate was the Snyder Cut movement is something worthy of the attention of the Wall Street Journal, right? You can't buy that.
You can't.
Eric, I know you're in the comments. This is not a slight against you at all, but like you can't buy that with a Comic-Con campaign, right? And like I said, that's not a diss. That's just completely honest. Like the value of the Wall Street Journal saying the Snyder Cut movement is a thing that, James Gunn didn't get a Wall Street Journal article, right? Negative or positive. And so it would have been better if the Wall Street Journal article was positive, if he had taken the information more seriously. Obviously, he never intended to. That's why he omitted so much, because he had an agenda. I imagine probably passed on to him by Warner Brothers or whoever.
Oh yeah, well, he doesn't even work for them anymore, right?
Well, he does. He took a short while later. He took a promotion to a news chief position outside of. Yeah, well, no, it's with Wall Street Journal still, but it's outside of film reporting.
Gotcha.
But so that's what Wall Street Journal established, and as I mentioned, that was the peak, right? So that's the peak traffic, and that is the stamp of Snyder Cut movement deserves Wall Street Journal headlines. And it's taken us a while to get back to that level, but we are again. And so now we've been covered by Wall Street Journal and Washington Post. And like that Wall Street Journal article, yes, everybody hates it. No, you don't have to wear it as like a badge of pride or anything. But look at it this way: Warner Brothers thought it was necessary to enlist the Wall Street Journal to take down the Snyder Cut movement, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. And having that in the past of the movement and having overcome that is so much more valuable than if they had just ignored it all along, right? Where would we be if Warner Brothers wasn't so arrogant as to think that they could squash things with that Wall Street Journal article, right?
Mhm.
That peak that I've been talking about wouldn't exist. So,
No, it wouldn't.
would there be something to come back from? Even would I don't know. It's an entirely different world. So maybe things would have played out a little bit differently. But the point is, there was a massive peak of interest that that just wouldn't exist without that, to the same extent, at least.
Exactly.
And I think that's super valuable.
It totally is, and that's and like I said,
thanks for that, Eric. I figured that you wouldn't take it as offense, but I have to double check to make sure I clarify everything I'm saying these days, because people have an interest in.
They like to spin words.
Yeah, exactly. Or if they can't, they'll just fabricate something that was said with no evidence. So
remember, Eric, we're part of the 40 Club. Oh God, sorry, I didn't mean to say the 40 number, but
no, it's fine. It's funny at this point, because you wonder how long someone could continue that without going up to look at what was actually said or what the intent behind it was.
Oh, I know the context. I'm like, do you guys not realize what the okay? And it's just so funny. And then, I mean, even today,
no, but I enjoy it at this point strictly because like it shows how little they care. Like it's beyond like they don't care about accuracy at all. Their objective is to try to cause me harm in some way or whatever. And if they have to lie to do that, then fine. I could clarify context all day, and they don't care. If they cared about context in the first place, they wouldn't be using tweets that they use, right? Or they'd be looking up the other of my 27,000 times I've tweeted that say different.
You haven't deleted.
It's not like I've deleted or So anyway, so I just find that funny, but I mean, if someone is intent on finding fault with me, I'm sure they will find a way to discover it.
It's always like that. You can always spin everything. I mean, like I said, in my recent little spat was all about like, apparently I said tweeting under Warner Brothers was harassment, and I was like, what? Wait, what are you talking about? I never said harassment, or did I say it in a podcast, or did I say harass? Like, just it was just a lot of like. And I know a lot of the guys want to say like, oh yeah, just the constant tweeting under Warner Brothers, it finally worked. I'm like, well, yeah, if you go to a batting cage, you go into an 80-mile-an-hour batting cage, and you keep swinging and swinging, eventually you're going to make contact, But like you said with the analytics, the spike started with the Ringer article, and then it just keeps on going up. Yeah, when people
there's no Business Insider article and there's no Washington Post article without the tweets.
Yeah,
but you also need the context to take those tweets seriously.
Exactly.
So it's all part of the same package. So
yeah, and it's like we're not shitting on. Okay, when I saw everybody in the Snyder Cut, the RT Snyder Cut, whatever the hell, the Twitter handle. It seemed like they were trying to organize, like, hey, everybody, just, welcome and Sarnoff, by tweeting them and this, that, and this. So it was like, okay, they're organizing something cool. But I got pushback saying like, no, it wasn't organized. It was just people just doing what they normally do. And I'm like, no, it seemed like it was organized to me, because I thought I saw that the Twitter handle go like, hey, everybody tweet out there and congratulate, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if you saw the same thing.
Yeah.
But it seemed like it was organized, right?
Well, especially the fact that it was not organized so much as like, because everyone's been doing that regardless. Yeah. But the fact that they kind of brought their A game with not getting distracted with trolls, with being respectful in their tweet, with avoiding some of the more extreme or like the cultish.
Yeah, we saw some people change their tones. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Which was kind of
they avoided some of the like, there's imagine not being as familiar. We're so in the weeds on this stuff, and people reference stuff like all the time that like the layperson wouldn't know. Like people don't know all sorts of details about this, and so a lot of times people will just throw out in their tweets all this specifics, and for someone that's not familiar, it seems like some sort of a crazy conspiracy theory. Like if you had never looked at like 9/11 conspiracy theories or JFK conspiracy theories, and I was like, no, but the grassy knoll and the second shooter, and you'd be like, what the
the Snyder Cut loose change.
Yeah, exactly. You'd be like, what is the grassy knoll? I don't know what you're talking about. And so you got to take a step back with these things for people that don't understand, and that's what they did with the Ann Sarnoff tweet. And so I thought that was excellent. But it's funny, like to your point, I think I said one thing about that which was simply somebody said like the buzz is growing, and I said it's really cool. It started with the Ringer article, and it's been peaking since then, or whatever. And
I even said that in my short video, and then there were like some of those guys were like, "What Ringer article are you talking about?"
Yeah,
and I'm like,
no, but it's just funny because like that's literally all I said on the topic, and I've had people like all day today, and like a good chunk of yesterday in my mentions telling me that I was saying something else about it, like someone was like, I don't remember who it is. I don't even pay attention to this stuff, but I saw something along the lines of like, oh, you're changing your story now and claiming that you never said XYZ. I'm like, I haven't even said anything. All I said was
not deleted any tweets.
Yeah, exactly. So so just to tell you, just how hard these people are, anyone that's trying to dig this up, how hard they're trying is that they're just kind of, it's beyond the point of taking stuff out of context. They're literally just fabricating things that I didn't say. It's like, you're so good with the screenshots and the receipts. Go find me the receipts of what you're telling me that I said now. Because I was like, man, it's like I literally haven't said anything. This is the most I've talked about this.
Yeah.
Since it happened.
It was almost like, I was like, man, and that's why I even tweeted, I was like, man, it's like our tweets are being monitored or something like that. Because it was just like,
they got those alerts turned on.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, do you guys just know when we tweet now, or what's going on here?
Yeah.
And then of course, I got the pushback on my video. I was like celebrating it. I was like, hey, cool, look at that. Wall Street Journal, good job, guys. And I did my little like crab clap thing. I don't know why. That was a totally random thing I did in my video. But a lot of people were like, oh, that was kind of funny. I was like, all right, I guess sometimes involuntary, sometimes it just ends up being like that. But and then they're like, the pushback I got was like, well, weren't you one of the ones that supported not to tweet? And I'm like, well, yeah, I think it's unnecessary when, they post like a trailer to Godzilla. Do we need to release Snyder Cut? No, I don't think it's necessary. But, but when it came to something like the Ann Sarnoff thing, and it was like, and I saw those and I went, okay, I'm going to, so you're welcoming somebody and then you're just like immediately going, hey, release Snyder Cut. I kind of went, okay, but I didn't say anything about it. I was like, all right, I'm not even going to, when I saw that, when I've seen it underneath just random Warner Brothers videos or trailers and everything like that, I go, God damn, what the hell are they doing? When I saw it right there, I went, yeah, it's a little really just gonna do that. But I went, but I'm not even gonna
all the tweets to do this under that one makes the most sense.
It does make the most sense, and that's where I think
not the most sense. The ones that are like, we believe in director integrity, those also.
Yeah, because and then even somebody replied to me too. They said like, well, the reason why we were so nice is because Ann Sarnoff wasn't part of it, and I was like, okay, I get that. She wasn't part of the craziness that happened and everything, but I mean, but my whole beef was like, well, when I see like some of these dudes that are just like constantly just throwing their middle finger up at Warner Brothers, and then all of a sudden they just like flipped it and they were super nice. I went, whoa, that was a weird little kind of a two-faced thing. But then when somebody actually said like, well, yeah, well, she wasn't part of it, so we're kind of like, I'm like, okay, I get that, and it did work. It did for the most part work. It got shown in that Washington Post article, which was like, okay, cool, that's fine. Don't listen to me with that one, at least, Yeah. It's wishy-washy, man. I don't know. What do you think is going to happen with the whole Project Comic-Con and everything? I mean, that's like in a couple of weeks here. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think it's going to be a shitstorm? It's not going to be like last year. Hopefully not. Because I think a lot of people now are realizing like, oh, we're not going to get the Snyder Cut at Comic-Con this year. I mean, unless like Snyder decides to fucking take a picture in front of fucking Padres Stadium, and you go, yeah, I'm in San Diego, and then everybody's gonna lose their shit, and both of us are gonna be like, oh fuck,
right? Well, in the same way, so the way that I've always viewed this entire ordeal is that in order to make this happen, you need to have more people wanting it to happen, right? Which I think goes without saying. I'm not sure why anybody would disagree with that, unless you write it in an article for with Garza's byline.
Disagree with us,
but I think that's if the best way to make it happen is for more people to want it to happen. And the number one thing that I've found in the past, what has it been, 18 months of writing about it, is that people just don't know what happened. And there's, Snyder is an acquired taste. He's a bit of a niche taste. Not everybody likes him. He's polarizing. He knows that. He accepts it. But so there's a lot of people who are outright opposed to it. A lot of people who are indifferent to it. And there's a lot of people who like Snyder who just don't follow movie news. And so each of those people needs to be moved on that scale somewhere, right? So the people that are opposed sort of need that Rob Harvilla treatment, right? To say, okay, I don't know why I need to make it my job to stop this from happening, right? I don't care about Snyder, but plenty of, who likes every single movie that comes out every year. If something's got a fan base, fine, let them have a movie. You're not required to watch it if you don't want to. You're not required to like it. So for those that hate it, they need to learn, okay, you know what? This is a bigger deal than I thought. They changed more than I thought. Snyder did. Even if I don't like Snyder's movies, he got screwed. I need to get out of the way. Yeah. The people in the middle there, you need to move one of two directions. Either get them in the same place where they're themselves getting out of the way, or some of those, I know that from talking to them, they've been like, oh, wait, Darkseid was actually in this movie, or they'd be like, oh, wait, that's what Cyborg's original role was, or wait, they cut Iris West and Ray Fisher's completely, and they cut Ray Fisher's story down. They cut all the POC characters, and
I even think some of the biggest Zack Snyder detractors would probably even prefer to see his Justice League before, after seeing the theatrical release.
Yeah, exactly.
Even be like, hey, yeah, I want to see.
Well, there's a lot of people who are just out of curiosity, or you've got guys.
That's what I said too. Is you don't think the Collider guys or anybody who's always been critical of Snyder would still want to see it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And a lot of them have been less. Well, that I was going to say earlier, we were talking about those tweets. So I don't directly engage in the hashtagging and whatnot. Just because
we're not real fans, Steven.
Yeah, of course. But as someone, you're looking from the outside, and you're going to look at obviously I support it based on what I write, but I think what I write comes off a little bit differently if my username on Twitter is Steven, hashtag release the Snyder cut, and my bio is hashtag release the Snyder cut, hashtag release the air cut, hashtag Zack Snyder, hashtag support Zack Snyder, hashtag bring back Zack, and then my bio is Zack Snyder is an angel from heaven sent to deliver the most perfect films ever. If that is who I am, and I am writing these articles, nobody cares. People, someone gives a positive review to a Marvel movie, and their DC fans are all like, oh, you're a Marvel shill, yet they're demanding that I be a DC shill, or a Snyder shill specific. Nobody's gonna take that seriously if my existence is do that. It's I've got to give it a fair shake, and so sometimes that means that the news that I release, and how this works. We've been over this a million times, but sometimes the news isn't always positive news, but it's always true news, or as true as I can ensure that it is. If I can't get it verified, often I just won't say anything until I do. Exactly. And I am of the opinion though that even though not everything is what people want to hear, the truth is on Zack Snyder's side. There is no factual information about the reality of what happened behind the scenes or what the Snyder Cut is that should discourage the movement or make the chances of the movie less likely of happening. Mm-hmm. In fact, the most damaging thing you can do is to spread misinformation or lie about the status of the cut or about what's in the cut, because it will all come out eventually, right? So if you say, oh, the Joker was in this movie and he teamed up with the Justice League in the third act and Harley, whatever, I don't know. And then somebody officially comes out and says, no, that didn't happen. Well, now, all those crazy Snyder fans are, continue to be crazy Snyder fans that don't know how to read the information, right? Yeah. But if you say, Ray Porter was in the movie and as Darkseid, and they say, no, he wasn't. And then you say, oh no, actually here's Zack Snyder just dropped an image of it. You move those things, you move move those chains down the field. And so going back to what I was originally saying, you get those people in the middle then who look at it and they're like, oh, wow, not only was this movie like altered, but like the original version is out there in some capacity. Maybe it's not done, but like it's finishable. When it's not too hard. So you get those. So that's a big full circle. But you get the biggest haters to say, you know what? I don't need to be a roadblock to this. This is cool that people are doing this. You get the people in the middle to either join the cause or join the people and saying, you know what? I don't need to be in the middle of this. And then you get the supporters to be more hyped up. And that's kind of how you move this closer to making it happen. And you're seeing that with like Eric Davis from, I think it's from Fandango, was just saying, honestly, one of the things I'm most excited about seeing at Comic-Con is what happens with the Snyder Cut stuff. Again, you can't discount the benefit of the Ringer. I think that Ringer article really set the tone for these people and said, look,
evil bloggers, Steven, evil bloggers.
But it said, look, you don't have to like the movies. You know, Eric Davis, you know, not a huge Snyder fan.
He wasn't.
He's a fairly balanced guy, so he doesn't.
The movement. He praised the movement the other day.
Yeah, well, because what happens? So Harvila kind of sent an ultimatum to these guys and said, look, I have set the standard now on how to approach this. You can hate these movies, but you look like a dick if you're going to go out and say it doesn't exist or dragging you for supporting it. And so in that Ann Sarnoff tweet, like I was saying, I don't engage, I don't always hashtag and whatnot. I write my information and I argue a little bit on Twitter, but I don't, that's probably not the best use of my time. I reach way more people with my
we do what we have to do. We do our part.
But I did see someone comment on one of the people that was like hashtagging in the Ann Sarnoff article, and he just responded and said it doesn't exist. And so I was curious so I responded because we see that all the time, and I was just like, out of curiosity, why do you say it doesn't exist?
Yeah.
And he said, well, it's XYZ. And I said, okay, so he said it's not 100% done. It's not. I don't think the audio is mixed and the CGI is 100% done. I said, okay, well, so are you opposed? Let's say it's 90% done. Do you think it's unreasonable to ask for it to be completed to 100%? And he said, no, I don't think that's unreasonable, and I can believe that it's in that state, but I don't appreciate the way people have been asking for it. And I said, okay, so let's back up a second. You said it doesn't exist. It sounds like what you're saying, and this is anecdotal, so you can't apply this to every single person, but I said, so what it sounds like you're saying is that you oppose the movement because of the way people are asking for it, not because of the fact that it doesn't exist. And he said, yeah, I'm okay with the movie coming out. I'm not opposed to it happening at all, but I think that it's not 100% done, and I think that people are too they are too aggressive in the way that they approach this.
Yeah.
And I've heard that other times too. And once again, that is, everything on social media is anecdotal, so you can find anybody saying anything you want.
You really can.
But I do believe that's a trend, right? And we're at the point where some people judge the Snyder Cut based on their opinion on Zack Snyder. Some people judge the Snyder Cut based on their opinion of the movie itself. Other people judge the movement based on their experience with the fans. Yeah. And so there's people that are out there that are saying it doesn't exist, or it won't happen, or it shouldn't happen, who are not saying that because they truly think it doesn't exist, or because maybe they dislike Zack Snyder. But what they're saying is I don't think that that you deserve this based on the way you've carried yourself, because there's a lot of people out there who have had repeatedly bad interactions with fans. Yes, a lot of them provoke it too. So there's definitely a give and take there. Yeah. But anyway, I don't know. We could do a whole another hour on that. But the point is that I think the way that people executed on the Ann Sarnoff tweet versus others really helped to kind of correct that perspective. And the Ringer article, I think, also was a big component in that also, because someone like Eric Davis, you better believe he's had Snyder trolls in his comments before.
Of course.
Calling him, I don't know. I could
I
could go get screenshots now, but he's been told, that he's stupid for not thinking the movie is great. He's been told he's a Disney shill for liking an MC movie more. He's been told, whatever, any countless number of things. Yet he's got the integrity to come out and say, I'm mostly excited to see what happens with the Snyder Cut. These people have donated so much money to suicide prevention. Even if the Snyder Cut doesn't exist, that alone is commendable.
Exactly.
Right?
And he praised the shit out of it. Yeah.
And he's got a lot of integrity to overcome that. There's a lot of people who don't have the fortitude to kind of swallow their pride and say, despite my disdain for the cut for the filmmaker and the fans, I'm excited to see this. And so, it's really important that as the spotlight is shined on you to kind of get out of your own way on this, react like you do to Ann Sarnoff, not like you do to, me or Dave saying that there's money needed. Like, right. Like, I don't care if it's both dimensions, like it happens, whatever. Like it's not really impacting me one way or the other, but it is concerning to be like, okay, if they're treating me this way as someone who believes in the cut, who supports the cut, who has written about the cut, what are they saying to people who are saying it doesn't exist or that they didn't like Zack Snyder? And they're not going to change my opinion on if the cut exists or if I should continue supporting it or continue writing about it or continue interviewing people or researching the status of it or what happened behind the scenes. Like, I'm going to do that regardless. Mm-hmm. But if someone who was it, Zaki Hassan?
That was just today.
Yeah, he's not a huge Snyder fan. No. He likes Man of Steel a lot, actually.
He likes Man of Steel.
Man of Steel. He doesn't like Batman v Superman.
Yeah.
And he said earlier today, and he said this multiple times before, by the way, this is not him like changing with the tide.
No,
that he doesn't think that I think he even said he doesn't think that he would like it more than the Whedon version, just because that's kind of more his. He likes the kind of Whedon-y stuff more, which is whatever. I vehemently disagree with him on that, very much so. But he said that from what he's seen, the movie is different enough, and Snyder put in enough work that he's interested in seeing it. He wants to see it. He thinks that he will see it, eventually. And he tweets that out, and his comments are full of people saying like he doesn't deserve to say that, or like it's like no, let people come around on this movie. Let people become supporters. If you're worried that someone's going to step in and like ride the tide in and like take credit, like if you're in this for credit, then like we got to have a whole another conversation here. Like none of these people are going to swoop in at the last second and be like, I am a part of this movement. Like, yeah, I get everyone. We've got a chip on our shoulder. There's been a lot of, dealing with critics, dealing with negative news. Like it's been a rough, 7 years basically. Right. Since Man of Steel came out. And so there's very much like you can't be one of us, but like every single person that either decides, you know what, it's not my job to stop these people from getting their movie, or decides like, you know what, I'm actually interested in this movie. Like that is a good thing.
Well, that's what we want.
You don't need to embrace them in
the movie.
Yeah, you don't need to like embrace them or like give them like a badge of honor or something. But you also don't. Yeah, but you also don't need to like get in their comments and tell them that like they don't have the right to change their opinion. Like the fact that they're willing, like it takes a lot to admit you were wrong. Like someone that is willing to admit they're wrong or is willing to change their opinion is a lot more respectable or credible than someone who refuses to. If you never change your opinion, then that just means that you are someone who's never been wrong. What are the odds that you've never been wrong or that you're too prideful to admit that you were wrong?
Yeah, that's not a good look.
Probably it's the latter, right? Yeah. Like nobody is never wrong. So anybody that refuses to change their opinion, it's probably a pride thing.
Oh yeah, it totally is.
So you
got to swallow that pride. But no, it's a lot of good things. I mean, I'm just wondering what's going to happen Comic-Con wise. I mean, I know we got Project Comic-Con, which is great. I mean, and there's I'm looking into doing something myself. I'm like little over 2 hours outside of San Diego, and I mean, I've even spoken with you. You know, I'm kind of brewing something up. I don't know exactly what's going to come of it, but it's probably just going to be me and my wackiness of whatever. Just I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I don't know.
I'm very excited to see what comes from everyone for this whole thing,
Yeah,
and not just to see, if this if what the energy and the sort of rising to the occasion that we saw with the Jens Sarnoff tweet, if that can continue through Project Comic-Con, and we can put our best foot forward, or you or the movement or whoever it could put. Well, you isn't like the royal you. I was trying to not say the we thing. But if the people that are involved can put their best foot forward at Comic-Con and the time leading up to Comic-Con, this is a wave that could be, that we could ride to big places. And it's really, really exciting to kind of watch that happen, especially, as someone who I haven't participated in everything. I'm not like a part of the movement. I cover it, I write about it, I research it, but I'm really more of an observer than
I do what I do.
My own thing. And so from my vantage point, while I've always had my criticisms of the way certain segments or certain people conduct themselves, kind of being able to witness this all happen as someone who's not driving the train outside of the coverage and kind of giving you guys stuff to use as you will, it's really, really cool to kind of see things mature and grow up. And I hope that there's always a temptation to I know there's lots of people that have a folder of receipts and they're excited to do their victory lap when it comes out. It's look,
oh God, I hate that.
If you're more excited for dragging bloggers that were wrong about the Snyder Cut than you are for vindicating Zach, for getting the cut out, for revealing the wrongdoing, then you're in this for the wrong reasons. The blogger, the people that were wrong about this, they will know they were wrong. They don't need you to post them a screenshot of a thing they wrote themselves to remind them.
There's no need for nanny boo boo kind of shit, Yeah.
And if if the movie comes out and you are spending any time sending old screenshots to Scoopy Pants or whoever instead of watching the movie, what did you just spend the past several years doing? Whenever it comes out,
that's why it puzzles me when I get somebody. Well, didn't you say this? And I'm like, well, didn't I just praise the fact that it was in Washington Post, and now you're giving me shit because you thought I said this? What? That's what I don't understand. It's and like you said, it just seems like there's more of hey,
it's a tribalism thing. They want credit. They want recognition. They want
drag it to the mud.
Yeah, well, like I said, these are the fandom has been in a tough spot.
It has
from even before all the Snyder Cut stuff, right?
Yes.
The people
defending
that were
BVS
defending Men of Steel, defending BVS, it's been a tough road, and so people are itching to get their digs in, and they're willing to turn on people that kind of seem like they're maybe not pure blooded or whatever it is.
Yeah, no,
and I get that,
yeah,
but yeah, no, but it like I said, it calls into question what your motivation is here. If you're gonna question somebody else's commitment to the cause, then you yourself should be spending more time on that. If you're spending any time attacking somebody, anybody, even if it's somebody that's out there dedicated to stopping the Snyder Cut from happening, unless that's they're trying to get into the WV vault and burn it.
Yeah,
you're wasting your time.
Don't waste your time on
dealing with them. Much less anyone that's supportive, but not in the way that you want.
Exactly.
So whatever.
No, you're saying all the right things, Stephen. I mean, we talk a lot, and I mean, it's funny too because I think I talked about it on the Zod Rider podcast. It's going to be interesting when years from now we get a documentary about everything that happened behind the scenes, similar to the John Schnepp Lives documentary. I mean, I know we've even talked about doing stuff, Garza included, where it's hey, what if we just decided to just pull everything together and just try to just get the information out, and then when NDAs are done with, but who knows how long the NDAs go for, if we can get interviews from people that were involved with the project, and even get an interview with the man himself where he can actually talk about what all happened. I mean, I know a lot of people would be curious about that. We also want to see the cut, and everything's going good. Leading into Comic-Con, we're in a good spot. Not like last year where everybody was just thinking it was going to be announced. Now everybody's kind of taking the mature approach of like, it's not going to be announced, but we're going to make an effort to, put some heat on DC and Warner Brothers. And that's a good thing. In my opinion, that's a really good thing that there's going to be people there. I mean, yours truly might even be there too. Just to have the boots on the ground and just to get it out there. And I love the fact that those guys that are handling that aren't saying that, whoa, yeah, it's gonna be released. It's gonna be released. And even Eric earlier when we talked about it, he even said, if only we listened to Dave last year, and where he said, no, it's not going to happen. And yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to pat myself on the back. And I know a lot of people, a lot of the detractors out there that don't really like me will like to say, like, I was just trying to pat myself on the back. I'm like, no, I just wanted to tell you guys, like, hey, what I'm hearing is he's not going to be there. No announcement. Don't get your don't get your hopes up about it. And sure enough, it happened. And then all of a sudden, it was just like a lot of infighting. But this year, it seems like it's a lot better. A lot of people are realizing, like, hey, it's not going to be announced, but we're just going to do a push. And hopefully, especially with what's been happening lately with the Washington Post and the Ringer article, and there's like that, that incline that happened. Hopefully, around Comic-Con, it could shoot up again, and it could be even further up. That's all we gotta hope for, and I think that's a good way to end this, Stephen. We've been talking for almost about 2 hours and stuff, man.
Yeah, I gave your voice a good rest there for a few chunks too.
I appreciate that. You did a lot more of the talking. Well, I feel bad for Garza that he didn't get to. Well, at least I didn't get to hear him. But,
yeah.
But but I know you're really, you work for Screen Rant. You handle analytics, you handle online marketing, and you're very much in touch with all that. You've even shared information with me, which is, it's always great. And I know there's some people like, well, why are you gonna share those numbers to fucking Toby Emmerich or what's going on? And when I'm like, you just monitor. You're monitoring it. It's nice to look at that. That's what we need to focus on. Everything is looking pretty decent right now. Yeah, there's still infighting happening, but I don't know. I think it's toned down a little bit. I mean, even like the little spats I had the past couple of days weren't that bad. I was just more of like, and I shouldn't have engaged, but I was just kind of like, well, where do you have me saying that? And I never got the answer. I'm like, and then I think you said, like, don't even engage. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but I was running off a large mocha iced coffee. I was like, oh, let's do this.
Yeah, exactly. Well, number one, their objective is to have a negative opinion of you. Right? So they're not looking for clarification. They made up their mind already. They're just looking for justification to believe that. Yeah. But number two, like, even if, like, regardless of what their opinion is, like Twitter is an important communication tool.
Cheers.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Like, Twitter is an awesome communication tool, and it's a great way to keep in touch, and it's a great way to spread information, and it's a great, like, sort of PR face. But in, like, the grand scheme of like how, like I said, like with that Wall Street Journal article, or with any article where like the Facebook impact or like the Google impact is way, way, way bigger on this. Now, where Twitter is useful is that it can kind of trigger some of that stuff, like with the Ann Sarnoff tweet. That's such a small percentage, not just of like fandom, but of just like the total population that is on there or that sees that, right? So many people just don't even use Twitter. Those that do, not all of them are in the fandom, not all of them follow Warner Brothers, etc. But Washington Post took something that was, relatively small by all, for all intents and purposes as a statistic, and turned it into something much bigger by putting it in in their headline and by covering it. And I think keeping that in mind is really important, that a lot of these, individual situations on Twitter, or the infighting, or the state of the fandom or whatever, it has an impact on things, but like ultimately, like the numbers, like when we're talking about like numbers and analytics or statistics that are going to get this done, are all related to something else entirely. So the fandom can be splintered and fighting all over the place, or completely in getting huge numbers, or vice versa. It could be totally unified and everybody's getting along and super happy, and we're getting no numbers. Like really, it ultimately makes a difference by sort of what information is getting out there. How believable is it? You could get true information out there, but like I could just tweet out, right now, something that's like interesting and true, and Washington Post isn't going to cover it, right? But if I were to get 2-3 corroborating sources and put it out there, Washington Post won't cover that, but someone else might, comic book / film, maybe Collider, whoever might pick that up. And then, and from there that climbs and gets bigger attention, or, not just me, but whoever puts that out. And so there's a difference in sort of what gets out there and how it gets out there and how it affects the conversation. And so anyway, so Twitter is important, and the infighting is important and all that. But like when I say like that, whenever I talk about how Twitter isn't that important, that's sort of what I mean, is that like it was influential in getting Washington Post to talk about the Snyder Cut movement. But like once they published that, the impact of that article has nothing to do with Twitter. The impact of that article has to do with people reading it in Google News or in Yahoo News or or on Facebook or however they're reading it. Like the 90% or more of the people that saw that article did not see it because it was on Facebook.
Exactly. And that's what some of these people have to realize,
Or sorry, did not see it because it was on Twitter.
Yeah, or whatever. I mean, social media. Yeah. It's I mean, like we said many times, I mean, we're in the long haul here, gang. We don't know. I mean, there could be like, we could wake up tomorrow and Warner Brothers just says, fuck it, release it, for all we know. Yeah, that could very well happen. And there's a very, very, very slim chance that would. But for the most part, you just got to prepare for the long haul. Like, pack your shit, folks. We're going to be sitting here for a little bit. Don't expect things to just happen right away because of certain things, but you just got to do that build up. We got to show the numbers. They got to see the analytics. I mean, there's a whole crazy thing that's happening right now with Warner Media and AT&T, and they're just like, they want to be where Marvel is. I mean, that's the sad fact. There's going to be a streaming war that's going to be happening. Warner Brothers is going to introduce their streaming service, and they're probably going to swallow up the DC Universe streaming service. Yeah.
And these decisions all have to do with like what numbers that they're looking at, right? And like Snyder Cut stuff is important to that, but remember, they're looking at numbers bigger than that. So like Swamp Thing, there's a number of influences on what got Swamp Thing canceled. Yeah. But one of the things that I've heard from a number of different places that is frustrating and concerning, but also kind of makes sense in a frustrating way, is that they are more interested in content that is similar to the Arrowverse as opposed to stuff that is like Swamp Thing.
Yep.
And why is that? Well, because the Arrowverse stuff gets way more eyeballs than anything else. Flash was like one of the top shows on TV, period, right? And so that stuff sort of gets a lot more attention. And so when they look at something like Titans or like Doom Patrol or Swamp Thing, and there's not a lot of eyeballs on that, and it's not driving subscriptions to their subscription service, they're like, okay, well, this is going to be competing with Disney Plus, right? Yeah. Can we spend $100 million on a show that's not going to grow our subscribers and compete with Disney Plus? No. And Swamp Thing is an amazing show, and it's getting better every episode that I watch. And everyone involved in it was like super passionate about it, and it took a creative decision, a creative direction that I really want to see more from Warner Brothers. But they spent like $80 million on the show, and I think they got like, what was the number they told me? It was like the 30 million max, and it might have been like 16 even in rebates. But so they still spent like tens of millions of dollars on this show.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's even enough subscribers on DC Universe to justify that one show, right?
No, I don't think
Not
so.
to mention Titans and Doom Patrol and Young Justice. And
It's
so
just
if
so
they
weird to
compare
me
that to
that
like
they announced the
CW and all the eyeballs that those get,
Yeah.
like
It's just weird
let's
how they
more of
announced the cancellation before, like right after the pilot got released.
yeah.
I just don't understand the PR with that. It's like,
Well, I think it got scooped.
Yeah,
I don't know
probably.
that they would have officially announced it,
yeah,
but it got scooped and the deadline picked it up.
and they were like, all right, let's just talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's all crazy, but I totally agree with you. Every Swamp Thing episode, I'm like, good God, what the fuck? This is so good.
So
like I love Titans because I'm like, okay, I love these characters. This is really good. This is dark. This is R-rated. Doom Patrol is just off the fucking. It's an acid trip. But Swamp Thing, there's just something about Swamp Thing that I'm just like, fuck. The aesthetics, everything is just. It seems like they just like James Wan and gang just really got it right. They really got it right.
They committed to a tone, I think, which is part of it. Like
Titans,
Doom Patrol did a really, really good job of that too.
Yeah.
So I don't want to discount that. But like Titans or the Arrowverse or really any other DC property that I've been frustrated with recently, it's because they won't commit to a tone and they'll be like, oh, we're gonna be scary, but we're gonna be funny sometimes too. And it's like, no, just let it. Like Swamp Thing is a genre show first and foremost.
Yeah. It's a show about a fucking guy who turns into a big fucking walking plant, you know?
Right. But like, instead of being like, oh, how can we make this more accessible or more funny or whatever, they thought
like if you want to make it like kid friendly, just bring back the cartoon from the 90s, That's all, But
but anyway, so I think and what's crazy is like TV analytics are way different than movie analytics also. So like for a movie, they're looking at making $700+ million from a movie. But like for Swamp Thing, you could really easily double Swamp Thing's viewership if like the Snyder Cut movement, for example, which is really small and incapable of doing anything, depending on who you listen to. If like the Snyder Cut movement were to be like everybody subscribe to DC Universe and watch Swamp Thing, the percentage spike they would see in their viewership would get their attention, right?
Yeah.
Watchmen comes to DC Universe in like next week sometime.
Yeah.
If that like DC Universe is going to be gone, right? Like it's going to be gone. It's going to become part of Warner streaming. It's not going to compete with Disney Plus. There's no way it sticks around.
No way.
But
it'd be a category in Warner Brothers streaming service.
Yeah, but because of how low subscriber numbers are, if like everyone in the Snyder Cut movement subscribed and started watching Watchmen, it would easily become the #1 most watched movie on the platform.
Exactly.
And it would easily be a significant enough jump in subscriber numbers to make them say, "Oh, hey, wait, what do we do to replicate that?" Right? Yeah. Whereas, like conversely, you look at like boycott. Like boycotting a movie is fine. Like people are talking about boycotting. Like there's nothing wrong with boycotting as a strategy.
Go for it. Yeah.
The only reason I've ever spoken out about boycotting is because of or I've been opposed to it, is not because I think it's like fundamentally wrong or because it wouldn't hypothetically work, but it's just because like the numbers aren't there. You need like millions of people to
really boycott, to have an impact.
And if the Snyder Cut movement had the ability to organize millions of people to take an action like that, then we'd be in an entirely different place now altogether, right? Like look at Project Comic-Con. Imagine if there were millions of people donating to that instead of whatever else they're doing. Like this whole thing would be a done deal. So I think the fact that we don't command those kind of numbers means we would have Aquaman still would have broken $1 billion, right? Yeah. We would make like I've done the math a few times and I can't remember what the total amount is, but like my estimate is like less than $100 million swing on a movie, which like is huge as like a standalone number, but like as a percentage of what these movies are making, it's not really all that much, and that's a really generous figure, right? But you apply that same leverage to something like DC Universe and Swamp Thing or like when Watchmen comes on that, you're going to see their numbers double or triple or whatever, and they're going to say, "Whoa, the most watched thing on this platform is a Snyder property. The show that is driving the most subscriptions is a hard R James Wan movie. Maybe we should do more stuff like this, right?" So you got to think in like strategically in those ways too. Like, where can this number of people or this level of organization kind of make an impact? They're not even going to notice if like most Snyder Cut people boycott a movie unless it grows exponentially and maintains a, you know, and even if it's that big, obviously there's a lot of disagreement on whether or not boycotting would work or not. So not only does it need to grow huge, but then 100% of, or a significant percentage of that outsized group of the however many millions you're able to organize would need to participate in a boycott. Whereas in much smaller numbers, you could really turn some heads over at DC Universe.
It's true.
So anyway, that's
there you go. I mean, yeah. It's all about numbers, guys. It's a numbers game. It really is.
Yeah, and I would say unsubscribe from DC Universe.
I know. Some people are also like, hey, I want to save Swamp Thing, so I'm going to unsubscribe because of you fucks. I'm like, that doesn't. No, you need.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and if DC Universe's numbers were big enough, I would agree with that in the first place. But I've gotten the impression that like a lot of Snyder Cut fans aren't even subscribers in the first place.
Yeah, I wonder if they
are. But like, especially with Watchmen coming out, like forget Swamp Thing. Like I don't like save Swamp Thing. It's its own thing. I don't mean to say like Snyder Cut fans should also.
Isn't Watchmen on HBO though, or is it going to be?
So I'm talking about the Watchmen movie. So the Watchmen show is on HBO.
Gotcha. I thought you were talking about the series.
100%. Unless you want everything from Warner Brothers that is a DC property to look like the Arrowverse, watch and support the hell out of Krypton. Watch and support the hell out of Watchmen when it comes to HBO. Yeah. Those are the two shows that are out right now. Well, that and Swamp Thing that can send a message that says we don't want Arrowverse stuff.
Yeah, we don't want to. Yeah.
The other thing is Zack Snyder's Watchmen movie, which I think is just a theatrical cut, which sucks.
Oh yeah,
but it'll be the first Snyder property to hit DC Universe.
Okay, so showing engagement on that, showing
So for a Snyder movie, for Zack Snyder's Watchmen to clearly be the not only the number one most watched show because they care about who's watching what, but also to be the number one driver of subscriptions. Like, oh, we got 100 new subscriptions yesterday, and all of them watched Watchmen. Like that's the kind of thing that they're
going to look at. They're going to see that. They're going to put that together. So hey,
exactly.
There you go, guys.
And as a percentage of the total, that's going to be a way more noticeable statistic than anything that you're going to do with box office and the movies. So
it makes sense. I can't wait for people to spin those words into something negative, Steven. But yeah, I think that's a good way to end this stream here.
Yes, it is. Third attempt.
Yeah, I know. Hey, that's what happens. I don't mind it. It. You're giving out a lot of good information, which is that's why I like you, man. Because you're good with numbers, and I love the fact that people are calling you Unabomber with your hoodie on in the comment section. It's fine, but I do like your background, huh?
Ray Porter put out a video on Twitter. I'm seeing in the comments.
He put out what? What did he put out? Ray Porter didn't tweet anything. I don't see it.
I don't either. Zodwriter just said that Ray Porter just put out a video on Twitter proving that
retweet a video, because I know there was a video that was I think by was it by I saw a video earlier today that had like supposedly like Dark Side talking. Maybe he retweeted that. Is that what's happening? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't see anything.
Yeah, people are getting too excited. It's okay, Zod, Joseph. Dude, you posted it? Okay, so he said it's on his Twitter.
Oh.
I don't know. I think it's the video. Is it the video that's been around like all today? I don't know. I just remember seeing a video today where there was like something where it just like, oh no, it's from okay. Did you see who it was from?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, I saw that video. I saw this video earlier, actually.
There's only one option.
I don't know who's saying those words. It's not Ray Porter. Did he retweet it? That's not Ray Porter saying that. Is that Ray Porter actually saying that? I don't think it is.
No, I mean we've got Zach in a DM that we verified, as well as others saying that it was not Ray, and then Ray
yeah, well, that part
saying that he didn't say it also.
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah, we're talking about the trailer, the Protectors line, but
I mean, besides the fact that that's not dialogue that belongs to Darkseid in general, but
no, yeah, that's why we're kind of like, really? You think that he said that? I don't know, but no, I see what you're saying, Zod writer guy, Joseph, but I don't know. I mean, that was a video. I don't know if the person who tweeted that made that video. He probably did. I don't know. I don't know if that's is he claiming that's Ray Porter saying all that?
I don't know. It's not Ray Porter's voice though.
No, it's not. I know it's not for a fact, but I don't know. I don't know. We'll see about that. But all right, guys. I think we're gonna end this right now. I think we have a lot of good information that came from Steven. I mean, he knows what he's talking about. It's great stuff. Glad you guys are bringing this light, since some of these people like Staymont and Cinematic Return have actually gone and doxed me. They doxed you.
Oh.
Whoa. Over jokes I've made about him. They doxed you. I think you actually were in my mention saying something about that. I didn't hear about doxing. Did they really dox you? That's, I mean, I'll look into that, but I mean,
it was the one. It was from the Discord. It was the one where he said it was like, let's find a girl and murder her and release a Snyder Cut and blood or something. And
he said that.
He said, I think he said it as like a joke and
but did he really get doxed? If that's the case.
From what I saw, it was just posting personal messages. I didn't see any personal information. I thought,
okay, yeah.
If it's the whole thing was
if it's just DMs, that's not doxed. Doxed is like phone numbers, address, loved ones. Yeah, I don't know. If dox is like a whole thing, dox is like full on, like your information's out there, like your address and your phone number, shit like that.
Yeah, but like I said, don't take those. Their objective is to. It doesn't matter how true it is or what the context was. Their objective was to say something that made you look bad. Yeah. And if it wasn't that, it would have been another screenshot. Or if they didn't have a screenshot, they would have lied about something altogether. Or if they didn't have something to lie about, they would just like respond with like laughing gifs and mic drop gifs at something else you said. So I would just you don't need to worry about them.
When you actually try to engage in a conversation, like, okay, what's this, that, and you just get a stupid meme. Every response is a stupid meme, like a meme. And I know we've been photoshopped in some of these memes, and I'm like, what is this doing? Like, is this helping anything? It's not, but what can you say, I guess? Anyways, guys, all right, here's my last little drink. Everybody, thanks, Steven, for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
A lot of information. Do you have your last drink, or are you gonna?
I do. Yeah, no, I've just got a couple. I got enough to finish this off.
There you go. Well, cheers, everybody.
I appreciate you muting Garza and making him think that it didn't work, so that I could just get my words in.
Garza because I didn't want to hear his bullshit.
Yeah.
I don't know. Hopefully, we could figure that out, because I would like to have a threesome with you and Garza. I'm just saying, no homo. Oh wait, I shouldn't say that. Apparently, that's bad. But yeah, but I appreciate you guys clicking in, and it's been fun, and we'll talk to you later. All right, guys?
Yeah, everyone have a good one.
All right. In the broad